Batting third, the catcher, number 13, Ethan Crawford. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 35, Connor Goodson. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 49, Wyatt Raymond. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 10, Ben Kelly. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 3, Stuart Cash. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 26, Kelton Watts. Batting ninth, the center fielder, number 24, Jacob Gaynor. And the pitcher, number 27, Jackson Gouda. And now, your starting lineup for the Panthers. Batting first, the shortstop, number 53, Alejandro Martinez. Batting second, the third baseman, number 6, George Schneider. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 2, Snyder Pennington. Batting fourth, the center fielder, number 14, Marcus Isaiah. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 26, Miggy Villalobos. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 12, Rhett Pennington. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 7, Landon Smith. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 50, Jackson Fricky. Batting ninth, the left fielder, number 8, Matt Rocco. And the pitcher, number 40, Dax Bailey. Greenville is a university that empowers students for lives of character and service through transforming Christ-centered education, and we welcome all people to our sporting events. As your hosts, we would like to offer an invocation for you and for our student athletes. Please join us in a time of prayer. Lord God, we thank you for the gift of sports. Let our actions today reflect your character and grace as we enjoy the gift of athleticism. We thank you for the opportunity to host Grinnell College on our campus, and we pray for the safety and protection of all, both on and off the field. We pray that we might honor you in all that we do, but especially through the demonstration of humility, patience, and self-control. May what we do here assist us in becoming better disciples in our journey of faith in Christ. Amen. We will now honor America with a presentation of our national anthem.
Welcome to the Panther Sports Network. Tyler Rose and Daniel Rodier alongside you for Panther baseball today as they'll break in the home turf for the first time this season. In a doubleheader, although two different opponents. Panthers will face Grinnell here in our first game before taking on Illinois Wesleyan, scheduled around 2 o'clock. We'll see when we get completed with this game if that might change at all. But, Daniel, should be a fun one here for the Panthers. First time they get to try out the new turf here at Robert E. Field here on the campus of Greenville University. Robert E. Smith Field, thank you. And should be a fun one. The Panthers come in 1-2. Grinnell 1-1 after splitting a doubleheader with Illinois Wesleyan. Dax Bailey gets the start on the mound for the Panthers.
I do think it's really funny where out of the gates, Greenville doesn't even play their opening home games on their new field. Grinnell instead split it with Illinois Wesleyan yesterday. And we got a text yesterday saying, well, yeah, Greenville games are definitely on. Games were played yesterday. I'm like, I didn't see a game for Greenville on their schedule yesterday. No, it was Grinnell.
I'm glad you weren't the only one maybe having a little bit of a mini panic attack when we got that, because I was thinking the same thing. So I thought we were off on the day.
We were. I was really bored yesterday.
And we get going today. Should be a fun one. Weather should cooperate. It's currently 48. We'll get up around 60. Hopefully some cloud cover for the moment.
Go away. I want it to be warmer.
Right?
I'm a little chilly.
It is still a little chilly up here, and certainly for the start of this game, first hour or so, maybe even more, it'll feel a little chilly out there on the diamond. As we're ready to go here. The Panthers in the all-white uniforms with the black pinstripes, black hats. Grinnell in the black tops, gray pants. And looks like it'll be black hats with the red bill. First pitch on its way from Bailey. In there for a called strike, getting started right at 11:01.
What a great start to the season for Greenville. Heat down the middle, and it lands right down Broadway for Nathan McCurdy, the outfielder batting first and grounding out first.
Yeah, right back to Bailey, and he'll just take it all the way to first, unassisted for the out.
Everybody loves some pitcher fielding practice.
Yeah, BFP. It's always good to see, especially right off the bat there. No pun intended here to start this game.
That was definitely an intended pun. I say that sometimes too.
Mac McCain now. We'll dig in. Right-handed batter wearing the number 9. First one in from Bailey, misses outside.
McCain, the listed infielder and outfielder, comes in at 6'3", 195.
This is a big boy. And he watches that one right up and in, missing for ball 2. So Bailey's fallen behind 2-0. To the second batter he's facing here in this first inning, and McCain. Kick and the delivery. Chopped foul off the end of the bat and pushes the count to 2-1.
Bailey at least getting on the board, avoiding that 3-0 count. Basically a guaranteed walk at that point, if not a hit later on in the count.
Still very much in a hitter's count, but a little more freedom here for Bailey to work around the zone. 2-1 on its way in, off speed, waiting on it, lifted out into left. Rocco settling under it, but then had to make a late adjustment. Still makes the catch for out number 2. And that one was barreled up by McCain, but again, found Rocco, turns it over to Crawford.
Yeah, odd line out towards Rocco. He wasn't really ready for it to go that far over his head. It looked like it was going to have a little bit more air under it and just kind of die. It did not do so as cleanly as he thought it would.
No, and McCain, a nice job waiting on that off-speed pitch. Barreled that one up. It was a pitch that was a little bit up in the zone. Going after the first one here is Crawford, fouling it away down the right field line. The Grinnell catcher here today.
Good start for Bailey, though. I mean, this starting pitcher needs to get off well.
So important, and it helps when you can work around the plate like Bailey has thus far. He misses with that one outside. Evens the count at 1 apiece with 2 down here in the top of the first inning. Bailey gets his sign, kicks, and offers home. This one's hammered into straightaway center field. Isaiah going back at the track, at the wall. This one is gone. Crawford sends one to straightaway center and out to get the scoring started here in the top of the first. And it's 1-0 on the 2-out solo shot.
High and in fastball. He kind of just turns on it quickly. And another big man here, Ethan Crawford. He's 6'2", 215, the senior from Tiburon, California. He basically just tees off, albeit from a much higher position than you'd usually tee off from. But he sends it, dead center?
Just about. Isaiah was backtracking, and he had a good eye on it, had a good read on it, but ran right towards the fence out there. Ran out of real estate to work with. That first one missed. Into Goodson, and as did the second. So 2-0 to start the at-bat here.
That's his third home run, by the way, on the season. And they have played 2.5 games, or two games and most of an inning.
Yeah, most of a half an inning. Yeah, you're absolutely right. As this one's lined into right center, that'll get down for another 2-out hit. Back-to-back hits for Grinnell. Gets a little 2-out rally going here after the home run. And now the single that'll bring in Wyatt Raymond, the right fielder.
It's a good start, all things considered, for them. I mean, apart from that, strikeout or fly out and the one unassisted to kick off the inning, Greenville was looking really good, and really a single pitch kind of sets that off.
Yeah, Grinnell getting a lot of contact to your point there, Daniel. And even the McCain out, I mean, he got all of it. This one's hit off the end of the bat. Going to short as Martinez charges, scoops, throws over to first. Nice play to get the out and hold the damage to just the one run as we move to the bottom of the first inning here on the Panther Sports Network. Welcome back as we move to the bottom of the first inning. Jackson Gouda gets the start for Grinnell on the mound here today, the right-handed pitcher. And Grinnell will carry a 1-0 lead here into the bottom of the first inning, courtesy of a 2-out solo shot from Ethan Crawford. As Daniel mentioned, his third of the season, and Grinnell just starting their third game of the year.
They are kicking off well in the batting side, at least. I mean, in their games yesterday, they showed up, albeit their batting did. Sometimes their defense, maybe not so much. They lost the opening game of that doubleheader 16-5 to Illinois Wesleyan. They came back in game number 2, won 12-4, around about the same general percentage scoring diff, but the actual scoring diff was a little far out of their favor. All in all, decent couple games, but the pitching really needs to step up, and that's, I think, where we are right now, where the pitching needs to step up. They're putting in Gouda to kick things away. 5'10", 175, a sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska. And, I mean, he is not a tall pitcher for a starting pitcher in the NCAA here.
No, he's really not, and especially just seeing Bailey go off the mound for Greenville.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's a stark contrast, yeah.
But it's not always about how hard you can throw, as we all know. Sometimes it's about how you can place the ball around the plate. And we'll see what Gouda can do, as he'll have to deal with Alejandro Martinez, the shortstop, who ended the inning in the field for the Panthers. First pitch on its way. Just misses low and away.
A very loud and large Greenville roster from the dugout there. They are lining the entire dugout. They've run out of room. That's how big this roster is.
Well, and they've been waiting a long time as that one just catches the outer part of the zone, evens the count at 1-1. They've been waiting close to a week now. They're supposed to play at the back end of last week. As we had mentioned, weather forces us to play here in a doubleheader. This one's flown back out to center field. Gainer going back, settles under it and makes the catch for the first out to retire Martinez and turn it over to George Schneider.
A couple good seeing eye fastballs there for Martinez. He really saw that one in, but really didn't get the power he wanted. Just a pretty simple fly out for Gainer to deal with.
Looked like it jammed him a little bit. Went a little inside towards the thin part of the bat, not quite on the barrel.
It's like that nasty two-seamer.
Yeah. Gouda going from the stretch primarily here.
Not many starting pitchers will do that.
No. And you wonder with playing a doubleheader, maybe Gouda not necessarily always a third starter as that first pitch into Schneider misses low and used to coming out of the pen maybe a little more. A lot of times it is a comfort thing. working out of the stretch. We'll see. 1-0 pitch on its way in. Schneider fouls this one off the barrel of the bat, going towards the Panther dugout, sliding over, and making the catch in foul territory was Goodson for the second out of the inning.
Not a great start here for Greenville off the bat. That time the pun was intended. But, I mean, the credit where it's due here for Gouda, he's got good placement. There's good movement on even his fast pitches. And honestly, I like going out of the stretch for a lot of pitchers because you said it's a comfort thing. When you're sitting there with somebody already on base, you don't have to worry about that same switch from the full windup to the stretch.
Right. It's just a way of simplifying things to your point, Daniel. As the first one was a strike in to Snyder Pennington, the DH today, here in game number 1. We'll take ball one on an off-speed pitch, missing low and away.
Pennington played his fair few games last season in a fair few positions, no less, designated hitter very much included.
Rhett Pennington playing out in center field today. As pitch to Snyder, Pennington misses for ball 2, pushes the count to 2-1 with 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning.
Maybe back-to-back 2-out rallies? Question mark?
We'll see. It's got a good count to work with here. The 2-1. A good eye there from Pennington. Watched it miss low again. So clearly good trying to work the bottom right corner here to Pennington.
Can't blame him wanting to keep it away from the big man.
Yeah. 3-1. Went to the same spot, missed again. So a 2-out walk issued to Snyder Pennington, the designated hitter. Turns it over to Marcus Isaiah, the center fielder.
Good work of the count there for Pennington, at least making sure that this inning becomes a little bit more difficult to get out of for Gouda. And more importantly, just getting on base. Sometimes the general effect of being on base is more of a challenge than even somebody working out of the stretch on a standard basis. So it's something for Gouda to think about on top of the batter.
First one in. Tried the outer half again and missed on Isaiah for ball 1.
I could see Crawford's framing from here.
Yeah, he did a nice job trying to work that back into the zone. Home plate umpire had a spot. And puts the count at 1-0 to start. Now 2-0 and a really nice opportunity here for Isaiah with a hitter's count.
This is where things can really get out of hand if you're Gouda. If you give up another ball here and you're going down 3-0 after giving up a 5-pitch walk, you are in some trouble, to understate the obvious, even with 2 outs on the board.
And getting under this one was Isaiah, fouled towards the left side. That will just get out of play into the Grinnell bullpen. Strike 1.
He's at least on the board. But he needed a decent bit of help to do so. Honestly, I even think that would have been a ball. It's a little high and in.
And he was able to get Isaiah to go after it. And as you mentioned, Daniel, get back into the count at least a little bit with a strike with the foul ball. Now the 2-1 on its way. Runner goes. Pitches a ball. Throw down to second. Was there, but unable to pick it. Covering was the second baseman, Kelly, and a stolen base for Pennington.
Usually you need the ball in order to make the tag. That's an important part of this factor. And with a ball on the count, it's 3-1 with a runner on second in scoring position. This is a dream scenario for Marcus Isaiah. A single almost certainly scores Pennington, who's got some speed, given that base steal.
Especially with 2 outs and a big swing there that came up empty from Isaiah.
He was swinging for the Mississippi.
Ooh, yeah, he was trying to give the Panthers their first lead here at home of the season. Instead, it's a full count. 2 outs. Pennington over at second. Gouda looks over. Now fires home. Pitch missed low. A nice block by Crawford will hold Pennington at second. And back-to-back walks here for the Panthers. Have runners at first and second, 2 down.
The back-to-back walks as well come in 2 very different counts. Couple fouls and a strike swinging for the fences for Isaiah. He's still able to get on base after the long count. He's at least putting the pitch count up on Gouda, who's around about 15 from my hand count. I'm not manually keeping track, but it's looking a little bit better for Greenville. Even if they don't score here, this is a fruitful first inning. Yeah,
you made Gouda work, as you said, Daniel, on a called strike into Miggy Villalobos. Looked a little high and tight, but a called strike nonetheless. And
he's a big man,
yeah,
let's be honest. He's pretty tall.
But it was there, and you're right, just getting the pitch count up and making Gouda work a bit here after those first 2 at-bats for the Panthers looked like it was going to be a rather quick first inning. The 0-1 broke in, lifted into left center, going back at the track. That one is gone. The Panthers, their first lead here at home in 2025, courtesy of Miggy Villalobos, the first baseman. A 3-run shot out to left center. And the Panthers lead it 3-1.
Villalobos, no stranger to the long ball, had many of those in our previous season here at Greenville, but he was kind of hindered because of injury. A game I was actually here for, as a matter of fact, where he ended up going out after a slide into second base. But he came back later in the season, went for more of said long ball.
Grounded to the right side, getting over first baseman Goodson. Flips.
Oh, he missed.
Run to Gouda,
Oh,
and
he
just
missed
the bag. It was a good flip, too, and really good coverage by Gouda, but just missed the bag. And we'll see what that scored here as Pennington reaches it first.
I believe that is one of the very few times where a pitcher could be called for an error, although I don't know if they will.
That was it was scored an error, so E1.
Pennington's looking at the score like, come on, man. I'm trying to get a hit.
I legged that one out, right? Well, it's going to draw a meeting at the mound here for Grinnell, and probably a good one here after Gouda looked like he was going to cruise through this first. The last few have gotten away from him. A walk, a 3-run shot, and then an error on Gouda. Gives us the spot we're at now with a 3-1 Panther lead. Runner at first, 2 down, and the 7th-place hitter Landon Smith 2 up.
Yeah, now you think about how a couple of those pitchers are really setting in the difference. 2 walks back-to-back, put 2 players on, and with 2 outs, Villalobos was perfectly fine to step up himself and just send it over the left center field wall.
Leadoff walks and 2-out walks are an absolute killer, as this is a called strike into Smith. So whatever was said on the mound worked.
Good start, but he's had a couple of those already.
And then throws this one into the turf, and a nice block by Crawford. He's been busy at times here in this first inning. Gouda already looking back in. He's wanting to get out of this inning. Can't blame him. 1-1 on its way. Grounded to the left side. Getting over, third baseman Cash. Strong throw over to first in time. 5-3 retires Smith and ends the Panther first. But a 3-run shot from Villalobos, the first baseman, gives the Panthers that 3-1 lead as we move to the second on the Panther Sports Network. We move to the second inning here in Greenville, Illinois. Panthers leading 3-1 as Bailey is back out onto the mound. And what was an exclamation point, Daniel, for the Panthers to get that 3 runs. But getting there, well, it wasn't the prettiest, but you know what? You manufacture how you can.
Hey, sometimes it does not need to be the prettiest. There are no pictures on the scorebook.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, there are listed errors. However, the Panthers do not have any of those against them thus far in this game. The one real error shown by the pitching staff, that being Gouda there for Grinnell, was fairly inconsequential. I mean, they see another batter, you throw a few more pitches, but it's not going to change the price of tea in China.
Well, that'll bring up Kelly to start here in the second inning. It was a solo shot from Ethan Crawford in the Grinnell first. Gave them a 1-0 lead, carried that into the bottom of the first. As we just mentioned, Panthers were able to grab it back. It's the first pitch into Kelly, missed outside for ball 1. Bailey's second inning of work. Settled down rather nicely. Didn't let the damage get too much in that first, and now starts off 2-0 to Kelly.
Dax Bailey would love to at least get something on his side of the count card here.
2-0 pitch.
He's working pretty quickly, no less.
He is, and that 2-0 just missed outside, and Frick holding the placement there as if to say, are you sure? And now the 3-0 on its way. Right down central. Called strike to move the count to 3-1. Now Kelly will have to be a hitter.
That's when you take about 4 miles an hour off your fastball and just kind of put it just on the inside of the plate.
3-1, line back up the middle, just over the glove of a diving Smith into right center. So a leadoff single for Grinnell. Throw comes into second base, and Kelly trying to get things started for the Pioneers.
Third hit of the game, and all of them in the general area of right down Broadway. The homer just left of center, both hits just right of center over top of the second baseman. This has been a fairly consistent hitting club for Grinnell, but by no means are they cleanly out to the start they're looking for.
Runner at first for Stuart Cash, the third baseman. First pitch he sees missed outside, forces Frick out of his crouch.
Bailey's got to take a breath here, especially working with the lead. He's got some help from his offense. Needs to realize he's got some more coming.
And utilize the defense around him. Clearly Bailey likes working around the zone because he induces a swing and miss there from Cash to even the count at 1-1. And when you say utilize the defense, I think a lot of times you think get the ball on the ground and let the infield go to work. He's had a lot of hard hit balls as Bailey. Throw over to first and just floated in there. Diving back in easily was Kelly. Didn't have much of a lead.
Was that even worth it?
Well, it looked like Bailey thought he had a beat on it because Kelly just stood there, but then the throw, looked like John Lester, really. And a block there behind the plate by Frick. Holds everybody where they're at, and just Kelly over at first.
As a Red Sox fan and a fan of the former Cubs pitching staff, I've watched a lot of John Lester. Apart from the fact that he's right-handed, that is about as spot on as it gets.
Mm-hmm. The next one on its way to Cash. Again, just missed. Evens the count at 2-2. Just slowing away there.
Seems to be a little bit more distracted than he should be with Kelly, who does not seem to be all that ready to get going, apart from if the ball's put in play.
Yeah, he's getting a little anticipatory lead before the throw, but that's about it. And the 2-2 misses low and away. Count's gone full here to Cash, the third baseman.
Now you know, even if he does go, it's not going to mean at least all that much. You're looking for an out, or you're going to walk him and he's going to go to second anyway.
Throw over to first, a much better attempt on the pickoff, but back in safely was Kelly.
I don't think there's a disengagement rule in the NCAA, is there?
I don't think so.
No? A disengagement rule? How many times you can try and pick somebody off? No, there's not. Okay.
Probably shouldn't be one at the majors as well. The 3-2 misses up and in. So single now, a walk to start the inning. And Grinnell trying to come right back into the fold here. Trailing 3-1. And it'll bring up Kelton Watts, the designated hitter, batting in the 8th spot.
Very few times will you see a DH bat in the 8th spot, but that's not a diss on Watts, the DH. It's more a credit to the rest of the roster, who is not only good at hitting, but, I mean, they're starting fielders in a game against a squad like Greenville.
Corners are in for the Panthers. First pitch to Watts is fouled out of play.
This is what can at least start to change the game, but given the scores of both of these rosters over the last couple of weeks, a heck of a lot can easily change the game in the high-scoring affairs they've seen. This needs to be at least a clean out, if not a double play.
And Watts tried to get the bunt down and popped it out of play over the backstop for strike 2. He's down in the count 0-2. Daniel, to your point, that's I'm sure for coaching staffs, the first part of the year is always a tough one because maybe pitching isn't settled in. They're still trying to find their form, and you get these big numbers that come across the box scores, and it's just kind of, I'm sure for a coaching staff, all right, let's get the warm weather here. Let's get into a real flow of our schedule and how we do things. Is the 0-2 miss outside?
Sometimes it's perfectly fine to have those high-scoring affairs because it means your offense is playing well and your defense needs some work, but your defense is always going to need some work. Yeah. And you are not in conference play, so those high-scoring affairs, I'm going to be honest, really don't matter.
Grounded to the left side. Charging in it short. Martinez gloves, throws to first. In time. Got him
What a
by a
play.
step. Nice job by Martinez. Kelly down to third. Cash up to second.
Martinez was playing back as well.
Yeah, he
because
was.
the corners were fairly far in themselves, he was not close on the different colored AstroTurf. Can't even say the grass nowadays.
Right. That's a good point. It felt like it took Martinez a while to come up and field that ball. He was playing rather deep, and with one out now, runners at second and third.
And he is not slow either. Martinez has got some speed on him, but because of how far back he was playing, it just took him that extra, I'm going to say like 3 seconds to get there.
And not a hard hit ball by Watts
No.
either, right off the end of the bat. The 0-1. Bounce to the plate, a nice block by Frick. Evens the count at 1 apiece.
We got some of our Greenville players sitting below us with the radar gun in hand. I'm trying to read the number. They had to switch seats so they could actually see the pitch.
Fair enough, fellas. 1-1. Missed inside and hit him. So,
I'm gonna be
Gator will
honest.
take first.
It's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was a breaking pitch that was going low and in, went off the toe, or that's what it looked like. And otherwise, that would have been Frick chasing that ball to the backstop, allowing at least 1 run to score more than likely. Now the bases are loaded after the hit by pitch. Back to the top of the order now.
The only negative part of this is it is the top of the order, but hey, last time up, ground out to the pitcher. There's still a very easy chance that Greenville can get out of this, but they need a hard ground ball that is easily fieldable, and they can escape this. Really to anybody.
Good first pitch into McCurdy. It was a called strike, and then missing outside was Bailey. He evens the count at 1.
Again, this is where things can kind of escape Dax Bailey. Putting yourself in your own head, a ball outside, not allowing yourself to stay inside the zone. You got to trust your defense here, especially with the bases loaded. You cannot be going exclusively for a strikeout.
A 1-1 misses high. 2-1 forces McCurdy to duck. As the defense plays it straight up for the Panthers. Bases loaded. 2-1 count. Bailey set, delivers home. That one's fouled straight back. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
McCurdy through their first 2 games went 4 for 11. Could be 4 for 9. I think it's 4 for 9. I've just got his batting average sitting in front of me.
That's a pretty good way to start the year. Trying to help his team out now. 2-2. Just missed outside. That's close.
I couldn't tell if it missed high or outside.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little combination of the two.
Just off the zone. 3-2 with 1 out. McCurdy stands at the plate. Bailey delivers home. Grounded off of home plate. And foul, so we'll do it again.
I think it hit his leg on his way out. He's limping his way around the backside of our dish. I got a fun stat for you.
Yeah.
So Ichiro started his career 3 for 10.
Mm-hmm.
Or he started 2 for 9. He, on his 10th at bat, went 3 for 10, putting his batting average 300. For the remainder of his career, it never dropped below 300.
That's why he's in the Hall.
Somehow not unanimous.
Yeah.
Keep that to myself.
3-2 is swung on and missed. Big pitch there from Bailey. And gets a strikeout and a big second out here for the Panthers before Mac McCain steps in.
I said he can't exclusively be going for a strikeout, but it is certainly nice when you get the strikeout regardless.
A good pitch, too. Just had McCurdy committed to chasing that pitch out of the zone. Got the swing and miss. Now the first one in is a called strike to McCain.
Basically the same pitch as
Yeah.
well, a little backdoor slider.
Bailey back to a look at the wristband. The
No
bases
pitch
loaded.
comms here.
No. Pitch was set up. Inside comes back right over the heart of the plate for a called strike. And McCain down in the count 0-2 to Bailey.
Bailey could build some momentum here, getting out of a bases-loaded jam with 1 out on the back of a couple strikeouts.
Would be huge for momentum for the Panthers coming to the plate. The 0-2 on its way. Fouled straight back and out of play.
last time up, McCain had that fly out to the left fielder, Rocco. It was more of a, we'll say, hybrid line out that almost got over the head of Rocco. Would have been a double if it got there.
Yeah, and it was a good patience by McCain, an off-speed pitch that he waited on and got most of. And you mentioned it, Rocco just did enough to keep that from going over his head. Made a nice play to secure the out. ZO2 misses. A ball and 2 strikes. Bailey. His pitch home, grounded right back to him. Bailey gloves, trots on over to first and flips it to Villalobos. 1-3 retires McCain. 3 get on base. Nobody comes in to score. A big inning for Bailey on the mound as we head to the bottom of the second inning here on the Panther Sports Network. Bottom of the second inning here for the Panthers. Jackson Frick, the catcher, then Matt Rocco, the left fielder. And then we'll turn it back over to the top of the order for Alejandro Martinez, the shortstop. If anybody reaches, we'll see if we can get George Schneider back to the plate.
Decent start out of the gate here for Greenville, but, I mean, they scored 3 runs last inning on 1 hit. It was that home run from Villalobos. But a back-to-back walks, one on a 3-1 count, one on a hard-fought 3-2 count. And, I mean, those 2 walks make it a completely different game. And, I mean, ironically, yet to no change of the game's outcome, there was an E1 shortly thereafter on some PFP.
Yeah, well, and speaking of that first inning for the Panthers at the plate, Gouda got the first 2 Panthers retired in 4 pitches by my unofficial count, 5 pitches.
That was close, yeah.
And then it just kind of, I don't want to say fell apart for him, but the Panthers just got a little bit more patient. They worked the count, to your point, Daniel, and, well, they got a big swing from their first baseman to give them a 3-1 lead as we work here in the second inning. First one into Frigg was a strike, and the second will follow suit, 0-2 to the Panther catcher. Again, Rocco stands on deck, playing out and left. That one swung on and missed, and trying to throw down to third, threw it right off the bat of Frick.
I think it's the first time I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Apart from some MLB games where it happens occasionally,
Yeah.
I think it's the first time I've seen that happen outside of the majors.
Seen that.
That's really funny.
Seen that one video where you get the inadvertent throw off the helmet, but I believe that's someone trying to steal a bag.
Yeah, it's usually, and sometimes the batter wants that to happen. Most of the time the batter wants that to happen.
Either way, there's still one out as the left fielder, Matt Rocco, will dig in for the first time today. He's a lefty. He'll take ball 1.
From what I can see, that was Frick's first at-bat this season. Yeah, it was.
Showing bunt and pulling back was Rocco, and he's ahead in the count 2-0. See if they let him swing the bat here.
I wouldn't be surprised he just squares again. He's got some speed. We saw that in left field earlier. Wouldn't blame him.
Well, and make Gouda think about it, too. He's not. He swings and hammers this one into center.
Oh!
Coming on and unable. No, he is able to make a diving catch out in center as Gainer. Delayed signal from our umpire, but he steals a hit away from Matt Rocco on a 2-0 count for a big second out.
What a play individually by Jacob Gaynor as well.
Unbelievable.
He got a great break on that. Was playing fairly deep and a little left of center for a left-handed hitter, but was perfectly comfortable diving in on that one. Makes the commitment, makes the catch.
What a play out in center.
I mean, I was talking about the speed there for Rocco. If he doesn't make that catch, it's an easy triple, maybe an inside to Parker, depending on how quickly Gaynor gets up.
Yeah, because he had to come in from quite a way on center field, shallow center, to dive in and make that catch. A big one at that, a nice one. Count even at 1-1 to Martinez.
That is how you help your pitching staff, kids.
Yeah, certainly Gouda should be giving him a slap on the back or buy him something on the road trip home, as this one's fouled out of play.
Duck.
You know, I believe it was this past soccer season for the first time we had ball actually come up somewhat close to the press box when it was sent out of play, and I didn't think I'd have to duck.
A soccer ball?
Yeah.
Somebody just was targeting you, I think, Tyler.
They may have been. They're probably tired of hearing me. As that 1-2 misses outside, goes through the glove of Crawford.
I literally thought it went through his glove. Turns out he just made some contact with it. It looked like it.
And Crawford kind of gave that look back as, what? How'd that happen? Either way, it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs. And Martinez at the plate. Pitch on its way. Chopped foul towards the Panther dugout.
Kind of funny little swing there from Schneider as well, who kind of just stuck out his bat trying to stop it from running into his dugout.
Olay.
Oh, yes, Olay. Exactly how I would have phrased it.
Martinez with another 2-2 on its way. Gets under it. Skies it towards the right side. And that'll go off the top of the Panther dugout.
Similar to how I thought it was going to go off the top of our press box a couple pitches ago. He's staying in this count, but it is becoming a laborious count for Gouda, who would love to get out of this inning sooner rather than later. Even if it is on a couple batters, as long as those couple batters make him throw less pitches.
And Gouda working the second, much like he worked the first, and 2-2 misses low. 3-2. I say that meaning he got the first 2 rather quickly, and now struggling a bit here with his third batter of the inning, in Alejandro Martinez.
Yeah, apart from the third batter of basically every inning, it has been a stellar performance thus far from Gouda. An even better performance, arguably, by Martinez, who's making him work for this. Last time around, he just had a fairly easy fly out to Gaynor. This time, he's making sure that Gouda works for this last out of the inning into this full count.
Had at least 8 pitches of the at-bat. 3-2. Pitch on its way. Just missed outside. Good at-bat there from Martinez. He works a 2-out walk.
What an AB from Martinez.
Yeah.
That's back-to-back 2-out walks after easily getting out the first 2 batters of the inning. And this now with the lineup turned over. This is, I mean, Schneider popped out just outside of fair play to Goodson his last time up. He avoids that, and you've got 2 players that walked last time around, the homer from Villalobos.
Got it to the left side, and he gets under McCain's glove, and that's going to just trickle into shallow left. He gets there, throw into third, and goes off the cleat of a sliding Martinez into third. Staying put over at first was Schneider.
That is making an early decision with some conviction for Martinez. I'm almost certainly going to credit that one as another error as well. And that's a 2-base error. So everything after this point becomes unearned runs for the first time this game.
It's going to be scored as a hit on the scoreboard. I'll go with that.
Maybe the abnormal play. He was kind of sliding for it.
Yeah, it was a hard hit ball. Those are always so tough.
Yeah.
I don't envy actual scorekeepers.
I don't envy the players having to field the ball.
That too.
I enjoy the press box, thank you.
Yeah. There's a reason why we're so comfortable up here.
Actually, I'm pretty cold.
0-1 to Pennington's driven out to right center. That's going to get down and go to the fence. That'll score 2. Pennington digging for 2. He'll stay there. No throw into home. It's a 5-1 lead for the Panthers of a 2-out, 2 RBI double of Snyder Pennington.
Stellar timing as well there for Schneider. It was a hit and run going as the pitch did. Schneider was gone. By the time that the ball crossed the plate, he was nearly rounding second. And with an easy double out towards right center, that turns this game completely on its head.
5-1, the Panthers lead here in the second inning. Still trying to add on with a runner in scoring position. Marcus Isaiah now. Center fielder takes ball one.
Talk about how valuable that walk is now.
Walk, single, double after, again, 2 quick ones to start the inning. Look back to second. Raguda throws home. Misses up and in. 2-0 now.
And Isaiah is not giving any space between the black part of the plate and the white part of the batter's box. He is crowding that.
He's going to make Gouda throw right over the plate.
Or right at him.
Yeah, don't live with either result. I can guarantee it. 2-0. Just missed low. 3-0.
I do not see – I'm just now seeing action start to kick off in the Grinnell bullpen.
I was just taking a peek over there to see if the Pioneers might try and get someone up. 3-0 finds a zone.
Unsurprisingly, no green light for Isaiah there. Even if he was given the green light, I don't think he was swinging at that thing if it was 45 miles an hour over the heart of the plate.
Yeah, and that one worked it inside. Still found the zone, but the 3-1 now. Another look back to second. Offers home. Popped up on the infield, trickling over into foul territory. Goodson, he's there to make the catch for the final out here in the second inning. But the Panthers, with another little 2-out rally here in the second, score 2 more. They lead 5-1 as we move to the third inning here at Greenville University. Welcome back as we're about ready to start this third inning here at Greenville University in Greenville, Illinois. Panthers own a 5-1 lead over the Grinnell Pioneers. Here in this third inning, it's a doubleheader today for the Panthers at least. Second game will feature Illinois Wesleyan.
The rare split doubleheader at the collegiate level.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned a time or two that, and many of you Panther fans know, and anyone in the Midwest knows that, well, schedules are suggestions for a while when we start the spring season. With any sort of weather moving through, that's what happened to us. As Crawford takes ball one, as Bailey's back out onto the mound. Third inning of work.
As fun as I'm sure this game would have been on Saturday, I would have been more cold than I am right now.
100%.
Now, at least I would have known I would have been cold, so I would have wrapped myself up a little bit more.
It was about 40 degrees, 45 degrees at first pitch. Count's gone to 2-1 to Crawford. Might get up around 60 today.
Hopefully. Can it just stay there for the entire rest of today?
Sun would certainly help. 2-1.
That would have hit him.
Line foul down the third base line.
Crawford at that point could have just let it hit him, or if he ducked out of the way, it would have been a 3-1 count. Instead, he turns on that. I don't know how in the world you turn on that so quickly.
And he got something on it. A little looping line drive down the third base line. That one swung on and missed. Good pitch from Bailey. Got him to chase outside. Crawford has a strikeout to go along with the home run back in the first. Brings up Connor Goodson, the first baseman, who's already got a single on the day.
He's gotten some activity down at first base as well. A couple ground outs and a couple pop outs in foul territory, no less.
He's been rather busy, I'd say, in the early going for first baseman, being the prime participant in some plays. This is a called strike into Goodson.
Including our Aaron's PFP today.
Yeah. Had a few of those. The 0-1. Ooh, just missed low.
Frick was framing that one. He did not want to give that one up.
There's been a couple times Frick has held the spot. I won't say abnormally long, but it's certainly been saying, take another look, as this one's lifted high and deep into center, left center field. Sliding over, making the play. Isaiah's Goodson just got under that one, dropping the hands.
He had enough air on that thing to put it over the fence, but the problem was he put just a little bit too much air on it.
Yeah.
That was dangerously close to the warning track, much less the wall.
I was a little surprised by that carry there as Isaiah just kept going back and back and back. And he made the catch with room to spare. Then Bailey tosses in a called strike to Wyatt Raymond, the right fielder, grounded out first time up.
Second inning, ironically, started off worse than the first, but finished off better in the end. He's looking for a nice little hybrid between innings 1 and 2 if he can find it.
And that's a good point to make. It was bases loaded with just the one out for Grinnell in the second. Bailey came back to get the next two and just strand 3 runners, no damage done. And then you turn it over and you get 2 more insurance runs. It's 5-1 lead, the 1-2 on its way to Raymond. Tap foul at home plate.
Frick wanted to hold on to that one. He feels like he could have as well. My 2 favorite stats in baseball are the lob and the lisp. Left on base and left in scoring position.
Oftentimes they'll tell the story for you, especially if you feel like your team should have walked away with a win. I know Cardinals fans are certainly familiar with that.
Thus far
as
today
of recent
alone.
years.
Thus far today alone, 4 left on base, 2 of those in scoring position for Grinnell.
2-2 / just foul on the ground down the third base line. Try the 2-2 again.
Raymond's putting the bat on the ball. He's making sure that Bailey has to work for it. The problem is he's working for a 2-2 count with 2 outs in a game they're losing by 4 with nobody on base.
Yeah, and that's tough when you're trying to start the inning by spotting your opponent 2 outs, essentially. And certainly the Panthers have had no problem trying to exploit that at the offensive end, as this one is fouled over the Panther dugout, now to play.
Now watch out where you parked.
Well, I do have a horror story for you then.
Wait on maybe the next inning for that one.
Yeah.
Stick around, you'll
tease.
Can't miss it.
2-2, swung on and missed. And for good measure, Frick will tag Raymond out at home plate. But 2 strikeouts in the inning, a 1-2-3 top of the third. We'll have the bottom of the third when we come back here on the Panther Sports Network. 5-1 our scores. We head to the bottom of the third inning in favor of the Panthers. They'll send up 5, 6, 7 to start off here in their half of the third. And that means Mickey Villalobos, the first baseman. And why is that important? Well, his first time up, he hit a monster 3-run home run out to left center to give the Panthers their first lead and haven't looked back just yet. Tyler Rosen alongside Dan Rodier as we bring you two today. We work in the bottom of the third inning. Going after the first pitch, Villalobos. Nope, got under that one and chased a bit outside. Coming in and having a tough time tracking that, but Gaynor makes the catch.
Some side spin on that one from Villalobos, and doesn't help that the sun kind of just came out. I wish we were outside for, I think, the only time.
Yeah, and maybe by the last few innings of our second game today, we'd be wanting to be back inside, but you're right. That was playing a few tricks out there in center on Gaynor, but he had a nice read and was able to stay with it.
He, too, has gotten his fair share of action out there.
He's been busy.
A fly out, a line out, and a couple of hard-hit balls in his general direction. One of them went over the fence.
Robbed Bracco of probably at least a double, as you mentioned, Daniel, as the counts moved to 1-1. That was in the second inning. He just laid out Superman style, made a nice catch. 1-1, just missed off the plate outside. These are some tough pitches to lay off going both ways.
Rhett Pennington, outside of his one at-bat today where he walked, he is 1 for 4 in their first 3 games. Did not have all that many at-bats. Did not start any of those games either. Or he started one of those games.
Count at 3-1 to the Panther right fielder.
Cue shot.
Grounded to the left side off the middle of the bat. Barehanded throw to first, not in time. Good effort from Cash. But he was playing well back, and as you mentioned, Daniel, a cue ball went his way.
Love those. So I got something crazy for you. I was watching some college softball the other day, and there was a cue shot that went right to the first baseman, just inside the first base bag. And I'm talking just inside by like 15, 20 feet. It was fair by a mile for infield standards. First baseman picks it up, walks up to tag the batter, and the ball is called foul. And they're trying to figure out why. They still, to this day, do not know why. Nobody overruled the first base umpire. It stayed a foul ball on a cue shot that went directly to the first baseman. The ball was never in foul territory from pitch to tag out.
Yeah, best if I just leave that there. Yeah, that one's puzzling. The count's gone 2-0 to the Panther second baseman, Smith. With a runner at first, a really big opportunity here. See if he gets something to work with. He does, but he takes a strike, 2-1. Yeah, that's a puzzling one to figure out there. And well, even at MLB levels, we have all the reviews, and sometimes it doesn't help. And the 2-1. Just missed low.
I think it should be like The Voice, where you can vote on your TV. Is this an obvious error by the umpire, even after video review?
Running up the chain to Manfred. See what he says. Runner over at first. 3-1. Oh, just catches the outer part of the zone. Pushes it full. 3-2. Smith is about ready to walk down to first base.
Now he needs to make sure he tightens up. You show up the umpire slightly like that, you are not going to get a favorable marginal call here in a full count.
Home plate umpire did have to think about it as this one's lined into left, and that'll bounce down in front of the left fielder, McCurdy. So it's back-to-back singles, one by Rhett Pennington and now by Landon Smith. As the Panthers with 2 on and 1 out here in the third.
Yeah, McCurdy did not feel like he wanted to oversend it there. Not the same as we saw earlier from Gaynor, and I just don't think he had the break on it. It was a little bit further to his right than it was in front of him, and you're diving across your body there, not the easiest of things to do. You'd rather take a runner on first than a guaranteed score and probably a double, if not a triple.
I was going to say, Your worst case scenario on the play that was made by McCurdy is right here, just runners at first and second. This one's looped into left field. McCurdy going to have to get back on his horse, plays it in front again, able to knock it down off the bounce. So McCurdy with 2 nice plays to limit the damage, but the Panthers with 3 straight singles here in the third have bases loaded and just 1 out.
You said it, limit the damage, but we'll say optimal word there is damage.
Yeah.
It is a damaging start to this bottom of the third for Gouda, and there is some heavy action now going in that bullpen. If he gives up a run here, if not at least a hit or 1 or 2 more, you'd imagine there's going to be another conversation at the mound, and this one is not going to end with him still standing there.
Yeah, I was just thinking it'll be interesting to see how long the leash is here for Gouda as he misses inside. And goes 1-0 to Matt Rocco, the left fielder, who, as we mentioned, lined out to center his last time up on a great play by the center fielder Gaynor. And Rocco fouls this one out.
Is as good as a good of ball contact as you can find without getting on base there for Rocco his previous time up, or just about.
That's a great point. He digs back in with an even 1-1 count, and the base is loaded. Pitch on its way.
Not again.
Driven back into center field. Gaynor is back. He'll make the catch, standing this time, and allow the runner to tag and score from third. And you manufacture a run, make it 6-1 as Rhett Pennington comes in to score the sacrifice fly.
If I am on the side of Grinnell here, I am perfectly fine with how that play goes off. You will trade an out for a run with a bases loaded 1-out scenario basically any day of the week. And, I mean, you're already down 4 at that point. 5 is not going to change all that much. You keep runners at first and second. You don't allow the advancement. It was a pretty decent throw from Gaynor. Could have been off target. You probably would not have been surprised if Smith sent it, but he doesn't decide to do so.
Grounded to the left side, diving play, gloved
Oh, no.
by Cash, and no throw anywhere, so everyone's safe. Bases loaded yet again. Infield single for Martinez.
And Martinez getting that down there. Good play to knock it down for Cash, but the problem is he couldn't come up with it cleanly. If he gets that one off, Martinez is probably out at first.
Yeah. And again, it's been a good inning for Grinnell defensively in the sense of knocking the ball down and keeping it in front and making the smart plays, but haven't been able to get out of the inning yet again here, bottom of the third. That first pitch into Schneider just missed. Looked like a curveball there to start him out, and don't know where it missed, but it missed. 1-0. Next from Gouda, outside. Try to go with a little heat there, and he's gone 2-0 to the Panther third baseman, George Schneider.
My favorite call of all time. You said you don't know where it missed, but it missed. My favorite call of all time is, quote, and a ball right down the middle misses for strike one, or misses for ball one.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it does feel like that. Our plate umpire today has been very good.
Yeah. How do you feel about the challenge system?
I like it.
I do too.
I think
I like the limit.
That's all you need, a limit. And as long as it's not egregious, and a walk here, 4-pitch walk to Schneider, walks in a run.
I think that'll do it.
Yeah, that run is Smith. As we'll have another meeting on the mound, and before we step aside, we'll make sure that is the case for Grinnell. But Frick down to third. Martinez to second. Schneider over at first. And that will be it for Gouda. So we'll step aside, get the new pitcher and all the information for you when we come back. Panthers will be at the plate with Snyder Pennington, the designated hitter, and the bases loaded here on the Panther Sports Network. Shea Gould will be our new pitcher here for Grinnell. And, he's coming in an awfully tough spot here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And his team already trailing 7-1 here as we work in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
His one appearance thus far has earned him the only team loss for the pitching staff, unfortunately. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs. For all of you non-mathematicians at home, his ERA, you ready for this, Tyler?
Ready.
40.5.
Yeah, that's tough when you only had the one outing.
One outing for
In
2/3 of an inning.
That's a tough one. The 0-1 here to Pennington. Snyder Pennington, that is, misses just outside. Started Pennington off with a called strike. And Snyder walked his first time up. Stole second, later scored. The 1-1. Just misses up and away. Not just. It was probably more outside than up. But the freshman trying to get out of a big spot here.
With 2 outs, he uses the time to do it. Problem is, or benefit is, none of these runs are attached to you. Bad news is they are still very much attached to the team as he falls behind now 3-1.
George Schneider walked previously. That brought in a run. Goal will look to avoid that here. 3-1 on its way. Right down the middle. Lifted into left center. Coming over and making the catch as a center fielder, Gaynor. He ran a long way as he and McCurdy were having a little trouble tracking it. So Pennington flies out and Goal comes in, does his job, gets out of a bases loaded jam. We will move to the 4th inning. Daniel will have the next few for you here on the Panther Sports Network.
Dax Bailey heads back to work for his 4th inning of work here on the Panther Sports Network. It is his 2nd start of the season. 5 innings pitched last time around, gave up 8 hits and 7 runs, all of them earned. His ERA is 12.6. It has dropped a little bit now through the first 3 innings, but not by a heck of a lot. He will kick things away against the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Kelly, Cash, and Watts, respectively, here of Grinnell. Daniel Rodier joined alongside Tyler Rosen here on the Panther Sports Network for the Greenville home opener, not the Greenville Robert E. Smith Field home opener. Yeah. Those were stolen by Illinois Wesleyan and Grinnell yesterday afternoon. That was very rude of them, by the way.
I know. You wait all year long to try and play a game on this brand new nice turf field.
I love it.
Part of a ton of renovations here on the athletic complex.
Yep.
And, weather says, you know what, you're going to have to wait and play second fiddle to both your opponents, actually, today. So, they're ready to.
So both Grinnell and Greenville, or both Grinnell and Illinois Wesleyan will play more games on the Greenville turf than Greenville will this weekend. Each of them playing that doubleheader yesterday. Each of them are a part of the split doubleheader today. They'll each have 3 games, Greenville with only 2. Bailey misses a second time, 2-0 to kick off this count against the aforementioned Ben Kelly, the 6'2", 195-pound senior from Peoria, Illinois. He decided to make many a trip out towards Grinnell, Iowa, and is just come back the other way, a couple hours just further past his hometown. That foul goes just wide of the Panther dugout That foul goes just wide of the third base line, right in front of the Grinnell dugout. He misses an equidistant on both dugouts, just about equidistant.
Kelly got the second inning started with a leadoff single for Grinnell.
It was promptly stranded at third.
Yeah.
That one misses high and wide, counts full.
That was that inning. Bailey really settled down, faced some trouble, had the bases loaded. Got a strikeout and then a ground out to end it.
You know, you started with a single, a walk, a ground out, and then the hit by pitch. Another foul. This one goes just wide of the Panther bullpen. Kelly's making it a difficult count. This will be pitch number 7 of it. All 3 of the strikes have been foul balls, by the way, or all 2 of the strikes, we'll say. That one just wide of the diving Smith goes square up the middle for another opening single. This one a little bit more grounded, but basically the same exact direction. Last time he floated it over Pennington or over Smith. This time he grounds it square up the middle.
See if Grinnell can try and dig into this 7-1 deficit. That's a good way to start, but Bailey has been resilient so far.
He is no stranger to opening runners. That one gets in there for a strike, off-speed pitch, square down Broadway. Cash last time around walked and then also got stranded. He on second base. This one towards the first baseman. What a play by Villalobos. Gets it to second for the opening out. At least picks up the lead runner. He would have had a guaranteed out behind him. He decides to go towards the neutral bag, and it works in his favor. What a play by Miggy Villalobos.
Yeah, that's so tough as a first baseman. You got to come off the bag, and it was hard hit, too. Able to knock it down, and, well, more than knock it down, field it cleanly and get the lead runner. Very nice play.
3-6 on the putout and a fielder's choice by Cash. There's technically a hit on our scoreboard, but it's not technically a hit. Fielder's choices being what they are. Similar to an error. Although I don't know who's running our scoreboard or where they're sitting. A couple pickoff attempts by Bailey. He's trying to target Cash after he got the fielder's choice out of him. Seems to be a little preoccupied with the speed demon at first base. Cash is ready to go, decides not to do so, and that's strike 1. First pitch of the at-bat to Watts.
That was a big swing from Watts. Last time up, grounded out to short.
Watts, the big man, 6'6", 225 from Bothell, Washington State, not D.C.
Mm-hmm.
You said it. Players from the coast here for Grinnell.
Making their way to Grinnell, Iowa.
Couple Hawaiian players, couple Japanese players as well. West Coast, East Coast.
And a little further.
Again, towards Villalobos. He wants to go towards second again. He'll decide to just stick with the bag at first. And to get the second out, that is perfectly fine. But for the first out, the decision to go to second was the correct one. Villalobos 2 for 2 on fielding opportunities here. And with 2 outs, there's just a runner on second left here for Bailey.
Yeah, I think you're right, Daniel. A smart play by Villalobos. You saw maybe he was going to have a tighter angle. Certainly not as much time to throw to second. When you lead it by 6, just take the easy out.
And especially considering there's now 2 outs, you've got to force out at first rather than the possible double play you were trying to keep intact back when you were gaining the first out. Yeah. Here, a couple good mental decisions for Villalobos. He also took an extra second to think about it.
Yeah.
He realized, I'll take the guaranteed out. No reason to try and throw it. First baseman fielding and throwing, maybe not the most successful decision.
Yeah,
I never played first base, so I don't have to worry about that all that much, but I played straight at the middle. Pitcher, catcher, center field. 0-2 with 2 outs. That one just catches the top of the zone. Seems like Gaynor was aware of it after a second thought. He fights that one off towards the left field side. The opposite field single will score another, and he will indeed stay at first base as Cash comes home to score. First player to score since the Crawford solo home run back in the first inning. And Bailey has another run attached to his resume.
Number 20,
Yeah, tough one there for Bailey, especially ahead in the count 0-2. Pitchers will always hate that. But, again, you can live with a mistake like that when you lead at 7-2 here in the fourth.
That's the one time where Villalobos not taking the out at second is a direct hindrance. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. That one goes to the backstop off a swing by McCurdy as they get back to the top of the lineup. But Frick was not able to handle the ball in the dirt or the AstroTurf or the vague brown-colored.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I'm still so confused, man. Can't really say in the dirt anymore because the extent of the dirt around here is outside the actual complex.
Yeah, that's mud today.
Yeah, my shoes know it, dude. That one popped up towards the right side. Villalobos may have some room if he can get over. He does indeed, just outside the first base coach's box. He fields it himself. He's a part of all three putouts here in the top of the fourth inning. The Panthers' lead dwindles, but only by one, and you're not too complacent when you're up by 6 runs at the start of things. They lead 7-2 here on the Panther Sports Network. One batter later, it's Shea Goal who's right back on the mound. The 6'3", 165-pound freshman from Montclair, New Jersey, goes back to work. It's only his technical second outing and only his, well, we'll say second full inning of work as well. 2/3 of an inning back against Illinois Wesleyan. He gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, and 3 earned runs. Today, he's had 1/3 inning of work, has faced one batter, and quickly put them away. Goal goes back to work and nearly takes the dome off of Marcus Isaiah, who was staying in there despite ball 1.
He stayed in there a lot longer than I would.
I would have been on the ground. When I was a batter, I was like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. Dodging that thing even if it took me to the floor. 2-0 to kick things away to Isaiah. The flyout by Pennington is what ended the previous inning and what stranded a fair few runners for Greenville. That foul back here made us duck for a second before we realized, wait, there's a net in front of us. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah. Snyder Pennington, he did a nice job to work the count with the bases loaded there in the third, and again, just got under a pitch around the zone and ended the inning with a flyout. Although these fly balls have not been easy for either team at times, just to at least looking comfortable fielding them.
Oh, yeah. With all those players on base, you're also looking at what you have to do with the ball before you actually catch the ball. It's the mental error of walking before you run or running before you jump. In this case, it is catch the ball before you decide what to do when you've caught it, or at least make sure you catch the ball before you try and do something with it. That was ball 4 outside to Marcus Isaiah, who now occupies first base. Villalobos gets his 3rd at-bat already. He's got a homer just left of center, a flyout just right of center, albeit a lot shorter. And now he's looking to put one back on the board. That one's square down the middle. Foul tip is caught by the catcher Crawford, who tried to throw out the speedy Marcus Isaiah. He's not able to do so.
No, and it was close. Isaiah had a ton of speed, and as you know, when you slide on turf, you oftentimes have to start that slide a little early. And carried a lot of pace into the bag and almost popped off.
I usually slide about 15 feet before the bag on turf, maybe 10 when I'm not. It is really 2 or 3 steps the difference.
Especially with a little moisture still out there, I'm sure, from a lot of wet and cold weather recently.
So the hit and run was on when Isaiah got over towards second, but Villalobos only made some negligible contact. Good job by Crawford holding onto the ball, but honestly, if he dropped it, it would have been a foul ball, and Isaiah would have had to go back towards first. That one just low and outside misses for ball 2, 2-1. Decent way to start out the inning with Isaiah walking and then running over towards first and then second, respectively.
As good as a double.
Villalobos saw the pickoff. It was perfect, but then he misses the bag. He targeted the shortstop rather than where the shortstop was going, and Isaiah gets a free base out of it. He was dead to rights, or in this case, dead to a pickoff move. What a wheel.
Yeah, that was everything was great about that pickoff except the throw over to short from goal to McCain. He kind of spiked that into the ground, allowed Isaiah to get to third in a really big spot here for Villalobos. And the Panthers here in their half of the fourth.
Cannot believe that Isaiah is sitting on third base rather than the end of the bench right now. That one fouled off towards the right side. Puts the count to 2-2. Shea Gold, I mean, what a move to get over towards second.
Yeah.
He looks at him, and just like he did the previous 4 pitches, looks back towards home, and instead of taking the pitch, he just puts on the spin move, not like it's basketball as much as we cover that here on Prepcast. And, I mean, he got him not only leaning, he took an extra step when he made that move. That's how good it was. Better pitch here towards Villalobos with a better result. Gets him high. By my count, that's only the second strikeout for the team.
Yeah.
Villalobos, number 2, Frick had the first back in the second inning. It was the first out of said inning. This is the first out of inning number 4. But off a walk, a stolen base, and an error to the pitcher, that is how Marcus Isaiah is still standing on first base, despite the fact there has yet to be a hit in this inning. Greenville still as many hits as they have runs, and not all of them have gone over the fence. Here is Rhett Pennington. He's had the cue shot towards the third baseman to get on first. He also reached on an error. That one, from my angle, was just off the plate, but when the umpire's sitting just inside the close side of the plate, that is a strike most days. Good frame job by Crawford as well. We have the slightly unfair advantage of having a perfect vision against left-handed hitters, which I will absolutely take considering we don't have that center field camera.
Right.
Although there is somebody sitting out there with a camera and a tripod. Can we get their number? We'll get a second camera angle going here.
Get Tim Miller on the line.
Pennington takes another for ball 2. 2-1 the count. His goal comes home again. He has frozen Isaiah at third base for the last few pitches. Good hold off there for ball 3. Pennington did not offer. Crawford wanted to look at the other umpire, but home plate umpire was like, no, I saw that one. He did not go. And he was right.
Yeah, well, right. Pennington, he thought about it for half a second, but held up plenty of time.
3-1 count with Isaiah on third. Pennington trying to put himself on base. This one popped square up in the air. Third baseman rushing on. Makes the catch. Good job by Cash getting there. He ran almost 85 feet to even get in the presence for it. Crawford basically lost it when he turned around. Cash never lost sight.
No, and probably a good thing Cash didn't because Crawford was dancing around his mask. He threw it away, thinking it was way out of the play. He stepped right on top of it, and luckily Cash had a good read on it, and still that wasn't easy for him to make the catch.
Cash got on his horse to get down there, and Isaiah is still frozen over at third. Second out of Pennington makes Smith the guy who has to get the 2-out rally going. No strangers to that either, being 2-out rallies. However, previous time around, the second out was a sac fly, and then they stranded everybody there afterwards. This with Villalobos striking out, and now the pop-out of Rhett Pennington. leaves the aforementioned Landon Smith kind of on his own here. No force-out potential at second or third is a benefit for Greenville. But really anything in play, assuming Smith reaches safely, scores a run. And in a 7-2 game, that singular run may not seem like all that much, but Grinnell is no stranger to scoring double digits in a game. Smith down 1-2 now with 2 outs. The pitch from goal popped up towards the left side and well out of play. Hopefully it doesn't take out the Robert Smith Museum. It does not. Did not have the legs. Kind of just dies in the grass there.
A heck of a foul ball. You get up there.
I've seen a couple land there. When it was construction last year, I saw a couple land there.
Former Panther Landon Mokris, a number of times seen him put one
Yes,
about on
he
the
was one of them.
track
Yeah.
out in left field.
Whether it was in fair territory or foul territory, he did both.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Probably in the same game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That one misses. Smith is staying in it. He's got a 2-2 count now. Still trying to score Marcus Isaiah. If I feel like I'm bringing him up too much, he's been standing there for quite a while. It's kind of hard to forget. That one high to Smith, 3-2. The catcher, Jackson Frick, is on deck. He's got the leg pads on due to the 2-out scenario, and Smith fouls that one back, forcing Frick to get his steps in. Smith has forced a lot of work out of a couple different pitchers thus far today.
Yeah. Did the same with Gouda before he was taken out of the game.
The 3-2, fourth time around, finally gets it in play, but to the third baseman, Cash, who makes his own participatory remark. He gets involved on 2 separate putouts. The pop-out just left of home plate, and the ground out in his general direction ends the inning. No hits, no runs, and nobody left on base. That's how this one ends. Still 7-2 to the Panthers here on the Panther Sports Network. Pat Venditti makes his debut here at Greenville. The ambidextrous pitcher. I'm kidding. It's not Pat Venditti. It is Jared Lisher. He's listed as a right-handed pitcher. He kind of threw me off for that reason because he's also listed at batting and throwing left, but that is not the case. He is a left-handed pitcher batting and throwing left. Jared Lisher does step in for Dax Bailey here to kick off the 5th inning of play. Greenville leads 7-2. My name's Daniel Rodier. Still joined alongside Tyler Rosen here. We were a little confused because his number definitely is 22, but we thought it was 27. Austin Moses. He is a left-handed pitcher and is properly listed as one, but no ambidextrous pitchers here at Greenville, unfortunately enough. As entertaining as I'm sure that would be, and as confusing as it may be for the umpires, because I'm almost certain they've never seen it before. There's a rule about that, by the way.
You know, there's a lot of interesting rules across baseball.
You ever heard of the Pat Venditti rule?
No.
It is the pitcher must indicate which arm they are pitching with, and then any possible switch hitting hitters can then decide which which side of the plate they bat on. The pitcher cannot switch throughout the duration of the at-bat. The batter cannot do so either. It is when the rare ambidextrous pitcher does make an appearance. I think there have been 2 to my knowledge in a very long time. That one very nearly hits the leadoff batter, McCain.
Yeah, surprised it didn't. Again, he was staying in the entire way.
McCain up 0-2 already. He's thrilled with how things have started against the lefty Lisher. That one just outside. So now, if there's a righty pitching and it hits that mark, it's probably a strike because it either is in the process of crossing the plate or did at some point. You get a better angle of it. But because a lefty just misses on the outside like that, you're never getting that call.
No.
He's down 3-0 early. Not the way Lisher wanted to kick things off. That time he'll get a strike, 3-1. So the final numbers for Dax Bailey, who had a very good go of things. 2 runs given up in 4 innings of work, 5 hits, and no errors for the team behind him in that same process. He also stranded 3 batters after giving up bases loaded with 1 out. That's how most of those hits came to be. That one just inside. Lisher's not thrilled about it, but, I mean, the home plate umpire's right. It was a ball. So McCain reaches first.
Well, certainly if you're Lisher, you just don't want to let Grinnell get too much back into this with the middle of the order coming up, leading by 5.
Crawford's had the real yin and yang start to the game, to be honest with you. It is a home run with 2 outs and a strikeout to lead off inning number 3. That's basically Chris Davis in a nutshell back when he played for the Orioles. As a native of just north of Baltimore, very familiar with everybody's complaints of Chris Davis. Got another fun fact for you. The other Chris Davis, he had the exact same batting average in 4 consecutive years. I think it was 427 or 327, one of the two.
I was going to say, 427 would be great.
He didn't play that much. That's the main reason it was pretty average, but all in all, pretty good. Runner going. Nice throw from Frick, but not in time. Little high there to try and catch the sprinting McCain. The shortstop gets over to second base, his native territory, or just about, off the stolen base.
Counted 0-2 to the hitter Crawford. It's an opportunity here for Lisher to get his first out.
So one problem with running on an 0-1 count without the hit and run on is you kind of handicap Crawford here. He's now down 0-2 and did not have a choice at swinging at that pitch, despite the fact it was pretty good. This one goes to the screen, though, and now you've got a benefit. Not only a 1-2 count, but McCain reaches third on a pass ball. Basically the same way the previous inning started, to be honest with you. Apart from a pass ball instead of a E1. It's still technically E1.
Yeah, I've never understood that. If you can say it's a pass ball, you're assuming.
Or it's a wild. That one was a wild pitch.
Yeah.
But still technically E1. And, that one nails Crawford. I heard that. My goodness, how is he not limping? He just rubs his wallet and moves on with his life.
He's thinking about that home run. That made him feel good. Well, and it's going to bring out a meeting at the mound, I think, with the entire infield. Coach Lynn Carlson going to come out and have a conversation. Wise to do so.
Oh, and we're going to have a replacement already.
Well, he held Lisher up, and, he's just making sure that he waits. So, good call, Daniel. We are going to replace Lisher and get a new arm out there for the Panthers. We'll step aside real quick, get all the information we need, come back here on the Panther Sports Network.
Two runners reach, and without an out, on the hook for both of them is Lisher. Stephen Hardwick comes in to replace him. Hardwick, the 6'5", get this, 305-pound right-handed pitcher.
Get a head football coach Robbie Shoemaker over here with a helmet and shoulder pads and get him on the offensive line. That's what I say.
Quick timeout for the home plate umpire. I'm not particularly sure why. It seems like they're trying to fix his...
An equipment issue maybe with Hardwick. Well,
maybe he's got the wrong armband on. Still get that one fixed. A little bit of icing the pitcher there by the pitching staff, ironically enough.
Yeah, certainly don't want to cross up your catcher first
pitch number one.
Yeah, first pitch with a runner standing at third.
See, now here, I mean, you got first and third, nobody out. Hardwick, the sophomore from Chatham, Illinois. He went to Chatham Glenwood. And, I mean, the opening batter he's going to face here is nobody to scoff at by any means. Goodson did have a fly out straight up the middle. What a play, straight up the middle. They're going to come home with it. They go for the tag, and they'll find him. What a play from the second baseman, Smith. Catches McCain, not paying any attention, and from 8 feet in front of second base, fires home to Frick to get the tag out. At no point in that play did I think he was coming home until the ball left his hand.
Just your casual 4-2 put out of McCain coming home, am I right? What a play by Smith. Diving, not only getting that in the glove, but having the wherewithal get up, fire home right away, and get a nice play and a good tag from Frick.
A 4-2 put out for a tag, no less. This one's square up Broadway. They may be coming home with it. They will indeed. Is there a cutoff man there in time? Just barely. Villalobos gets his way over. So there is a single right after the fielder's choice, and the bases are juiced for Kelly.
Just getting caught.
I know, right?
Caught up on the score,
3 pitches later, and it's a completely different ball game. But we have seen bases loaded, 1 out before. That was for Dax Bailey, who dealt with it fairly well. But this is not an easy feat by any means. Here for Hardwick. Square up Broadway again. This one to the center fielder. Not tagging up at third base, and a mental error will cost them a run. He would have guaranteeingly got home. Wood Crawford. Instead, he's still stranded at third, and this time it's 2 outs for the fly out by Kelly.
Yeah, it looked like there for Crawford. He saw that ball off the bat, and he thought that line drive was getting down right in front of Isaiah. Nothing there, and he was off the bag by the time he realized he was going to have to get back. Nothing doing. Break there for the Panthers.
Quick work here for Hardwick. Base is still loaded, 2 outs. That one bounces well in front of the plate. Good job by Frick to hold it in front of him. But, I mean, in the span of, 5 pitches, we've had a ground out to the second baseman. He threw it home for a tag out of McCain. A hit by pitch before that put Crawford on first. Then a fielder's choice, which was that 4-2 put out. A single up the middle. And then a line out to the center fielder where Crawford was not tagging up, and thus it cost them a run.
Yeah, and that's going to be one of those. That's going to be maybe one of those momentum type plays for Grinnell, where you look back and say, yeah, it wouldn't have given us the lead, but it could have extended an inning there, and maybe you get another one in the mix. But still some work to do for the Panthers here.
Now the one difference is if Crawford scores, it's a moot point.
Right.
He would have scored anyway, and notably, Goodson on second base was not tagging up. So it's not like they lost what could have been a run and a player at third. Right. So if Crawford scores, everything we've talked about means very little. And now with a 3-1 count, he's very likely to score on another ball. Cash has worked this count fairly well himself. He has walked already, and he scored after getting into a fielder's choice earlier on this afternoon. That was just last inning, as a matter of fact. This is the 6th batter of the inning. That one high. The 6th batter of the inning walks, and Crawford scores anyway. So there is still a runner on third, but Crawford scores, and at that point, who cares?
7-3. Base is still loaded, so the work not done for Hardwick. He's done a nice job working around the plate. He's got that real straight over the top delivery.
Yeah.
Which, personally, I feel as a hitter you'd like, maybe a little bit easier to pick up on.
As a right-handed hitter especially.
Yeah. Good point.
Those breaking balls, less lateral movement, more vertical movement.
Yeah.
I was not very good at staying in there on breaking balls in my career as a batter. I was more of a defensive player. I was mostly a defensive player. That one had some lateral movement to it. Looked like a slurve. That's what I used to throw when I pitched. Had about 8 inches of lateral movement and another 8 or 10 of vertical movement. I'm not going to lie, it was kind of gross. But that was in junior varsity high school play, not NCAA Division III collegiate play. Second attempt of basically the same pitch, just misses. It was a front door slurve. And here Hardwick would love to try and get out of this inning with just a couple more pitches, and he may very well do so with that one alone. Popped up just beyond second base. Smith is there. He had to back away, but he makes the catch anyway. Ooh. Very dangerous there for the aforementioned Landon Smith. Ooh. And they do make the putout, but what could have been versus what currently is. It's another 3 players left on base there for Grinnell. They at least score this time around, but it's still 7-3 Panthers here on the Panther Sports Network. Back to work for Shea Goal here in the Panther half of the 5th inning. We are halfway through our game here at Robert E. Smith Field, where Greenville leads 7-3 here on the Panther Sports Network. My name's Daniel Rodier, still joined alongside Tyler Rosen. And Shea Goal has gotten his way of things in the last couple innings. By no means the cleanest, but after he picked up work, he had a single, or maybe a couple pitches to put Snyder Pennington out, and only letting up 1 base runner in the previous inning. That is popped up towards the left center field direction by Frick, and he's put out with just 1 pitch. Goal has not had that many long counts in his couple innings of work here.
No, he really hasn't. Just taking a look back, he went rather quickly to get Snyder Pennington to end the 3rd, and then not too labored there in the 4th, and obviously a quick start here in the 5th. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Dream way to start things off.
Yeah.
He faces Rocco at the tail end of the lineup. Martinez at the top of the orders awaiting his next opportunity. Rocco thus far has had 2 separate fly balls. I think both of them have been the same general direction. The line out he was robbed of earlier and the sac fly that scored one. He's got an RBI, but that's about it. He should have an RBI and a double, but, kind of robbed there by Gainer out in center field.
It's hard when they put 9 out there in the field for you.
I know, right? I'd hate playing slow pitch softball where they put 10 out there.
Yeah, well, that's just not fair.
Although in slow pitch softball, you kind of need all 10. It is slow pitch. Fast pitch only having 9 makes sense. Rocco down 0-2 already. Goal making quick work, or at least he was, until that one bounces into the dirt and then the umpire. Goals through 1 1/3 or 1 2/3 already. Tail end of the 3rd, full 4th, and now the front end of this 5th inning. He's looked really good in that endeavor. He was about to start throwing towards 3rd, was Crawford. He got a little ahead of himself. That one looked inside and thus was called inside.
Yeah, and Goal is already starting his case strut a little bit off the mound. And that was close. Again, both hitters on both teams have laying off some tough pitches.
A couple of those tough pitches have been called strikes. That one not so much. Make it 2. Now for Goal, who does not seem the least bit thrilled on our mound.
No, freshman's got to be a little careful here.
3-2 count with 1 out to Smith, the 9-hitter. You'd hate to lose that opportunity. He grounds it towards the first base side. Goal will get over. Will he make the touch this time? Yes, he will. Not the same mistake Gouda made back in our first inning of play. And it is 2 outs.
Yeah, I think it was not as close as maybe Rocco made it with that slide going into first, but a good job getting over there by Goal. And after what he thought may have been a strikeout times 2,
yeah, I know, right?
He still gets the out.
Conviction of the young man. He's now completed 2 full innings of work, has yet to give up a run, whether attributed to him or not. When he came to work again, it was bases loaded, and he got out of it with just a single pitch to Snyder Pennington. Now facing Martinez for the first time today. This is still his first trip through the lineup. He's down 0-2 to the 1-hitter.
I was going to say we've been praising Goal a little bit here for his work in relief, but as you just mentioned, Daniel, first time through the top of the order. See how he deals.
Already here for Martinez, he batted 3 times in 3 innings. He had a fly out to center. He walked and scored and got a single after being stranded, or right before being stranded on second. This time around, he will have no further success. Goal goes 1, 2, 3. A fly out to center, some pitcher fielding practice, and another fly out this time to right field. And Raymond, the Panthers get nothing out of the 5th inning, and they actually lose some ground once more. It's 7-3 to Greenville here on the Panther Sports Network. (7-3) Panthers, but 2 innings ago it was 7-1. They've lost a little bit of ground. At this rate, will be tied at the tail end of the game. However, that's assuming Greenville does not score between now and then, and assuming Grinnell only scores 1 an inning between now and then. I'm Daniel Roedier, joined alongside Tyler Rosen here on the Panther Sports Network for some Greenville out-of-conference baseball. Grinnell, here on the other side, have kind of picked up the pace in the last couple innings. Stephen Hardwick did not have the easiest go of things in his previous inning of work, but he did get out of it with some limited damage, just a single walk that scored a run that was not even attributed to him. So, by the way, technically an infinite, get this, an infinite ERA for Lisher, which is a rare stat in the game of baseball. 2-1 count, first one on the board here for Hardwick in the away half of the 6th.
Lisher just might have an opportunity in our second game today. We'll see. Didn't go very long, obviously, today.
He may be through, 12 pitches? Maybe?
Yeah, and certainly didn't seem to be anything physically wrong with him. It felt more like the situation at hand than anything why he was removed from the game.
It also seemed like he, as a lefty, was possibly brought in for a specific juncture of the lineup.
Could have been. That's a great point.
Because, I mean, with how quickly he let it, what? It was
2 batters he faced.
A walk, a stolen base, and the wild pitch, and then the hit by pitch. it was not a long tenure, not long enough for most bullpen pitchers to warm up. This one well into left center field, and making the catch as he crashes into the wall is Marcus Isaiah. What a hustle play down into deep left center field to rob the single of the 9-hitter Gainer, who had some speed. If that one drops, it's a triple.
Oh, what a long run by Isaiah. Tracked it well, made the catch on the run, and absorbed a shot from the fence, too. Big first down here in the 6th.
That one not padded by any means either.
No.
Nice pitch from Hardwick. The front door slurve again gets in there. I was watching him throw it a couple times in warm-ups. That thing has some movement to it, but it can be telegraphed. He's a very slightly different release point with it.
Yeah.
However, he gets McCurdy, to go this time around. McCain waiting on deck. 0-2 already. Pitch looking and a pitch swinging. That one he does swing and makes some contact. Imagine he gets him with 3 straight off-speed pitches.
Well, and I know the goal of pitching is to not tip your pitches clearly, but it's such a simple motion for Hardwick. You can't really gain anything from it. It's just so compact and right there, and it's working consistently around the plate.
Yeah, the two things, I mean, for all of you who are scouting at home, I apologize for giving this away for Greenville, but the two things I've noticed when he throws that slurve, he's got a slightly shorter step, and he throws it from a slightly different arm slot. So it is kind of noticeable. That time around he had the shorter step and the slightly different arm slot, but it is still grounded to the second baseman, Smith, who heads it over to Villalobos from just behind the second base itself. And there's 2 outs very quickly here in the away half of the 6th.
Yeah, Hardwick doing a nice job in relief, as you mentioned in the 5th. Maybe a little bit of some trouble just fresh into the game, but
yeah,
settling in nicely here in the 6th.
I mean, that walk, and then he mostly got out of things?
Yeah.
As I turn my lineup card over for no reason. Hardwick was seemingly happy with that pitch, but did not get it. He was looking for some clarification as to where the pitch was from the home plate umpire, which he gets. Second pitch, basically the same Copley threw over to McCurdy. This one, the front door variation of the off-speed pitch, and he evens out the count. He's been happy to stick with those for most of things. Second try at it. He throws it again. I mean, you can throw it at like a 60 or 65% click at this rate if you've got that much movement on it. They can know it's coming, and it's not going to mean all that much. It's a good pitch. Decides not to throw it this time around. He just went with the straight fastball away. Problem is, when you keep throwing off speed pitches and then you go for a fastball away, they're not going to chase on the fastball away because they're expecting the off speed. And if it starts 4 inches outside, they're expecting it to go 8 inches outside. That time, he throws it square down Broadway, but it's hit right back up the middle with some air under it. Not enough, or too much, depending on how you look at it. Either way, it's caught by Isaiah, who makes 2 very different catches that are recorded the exact same way on the scorecard. Isaiah makes 2 putouts, and a ground ball is the difference between them and our home half of the 6th here on the Panther Sports Network. Shea Goal with an extended endeavor here in relief. He's only the second pitcher to take the mound here for the Grinnell College Pioneers, yet he's been very successful since he took over. Very few issues, and more importantly, no runs given up in the 2 1/3 innings that he has pitched. Top half of the lineup still on. This is still technically his first run through the lineup, first time Schneider has seen him. But when you go 2 1/3 and you only see 8 batters, you have done a fairly good job of things. This first pitch high to Schneider.
Yeah, he's done a nice job, as you mentioned, Daniel, just keeping the zeros up on the board and letting his team try and work back into this game offensively when it's been their turn to bat. And I think he'll be pleased, assuming that his outing keeps going like this.
Until about 4 seconds ago, he was throwing a solo no-hitter. No, it continues. What a play again from Gaynor, who becomes more active in center field. If you thought he couldn't, you were wrong. His fifth putout of the game, and 5th separate player he does it against.
That's unbelievable. He's had a heck of a game. Isaiah's had a heck of a game in center field. Man, these two are putting on a clinic.
Goal has still yet to give up a hit. The only base runner he's allowed is Marcus Isaiah, who walked and then stole second, gained third off of an error on a pickoff move, which was a very good pickoff move until he released the ball. And that's it. In chronological order, F8K, P553, F831, P9, L8. Basically everybody getting involved in many different ways, and Goal has had few issues. Now, here's his second time through the lineup, though. He's facing Snyder Pennington. First time around, he flew out to the aforementioned Gaynor. That's the first strike on the foul ball back to the screen.
Yeah, that stranded the bases loaded last time when Pennington was up, and he worked the count well, just got a pitch he could handle, dropped the hands, and got under it.
Pennington with a 2-1 count. He's swinging for a distance and got all of about negative 1.5 feet with the strike behind him. He's evened it out at 2-2. Goal, not an easy pitcher to hit against either. His release point's consistent. He kind of hides his pitches, and even with some contact there by Pennington, easily fielded on the backhand by Kelly and put over to Goodson for out number 2 here of the 6th inning. This is a dream scenario for Goal, himself as well, not only for the team. They've put a lot of pitchers up in their opening 2 games of the season. Yesterday against Illinois Wesleyan, Goal was one of them who had 2/3 of an innings pitched, and yet here he is. Yesterday gave up 3 hits and 3 runs in 2/3. Today, in what is now 3 full innings as of that out, has given up 0 hits.
It's amazing what just getting back out on the hill can do for you and for confidence, certainly.
It's been 24 hours, too. What is this? Welcome to baseball, kids.
Yeah, these schedules, you take a look at them and you don't envy them, that's for sure.
Marcus Isaiah caught swinging as well, 1-1 to him. Speaking of schedules, by the way, talking about Greenville's schedule here. They play
it's a busy week.
Illinois Wesleyan later, Illinois College on Wednesday, and Wheaton 3 times over the weekend. They've got, counting this game, in 6 days, actually 5.5 days, we'll say 6, they play 6 baseball games.
I'll be here for a few of them.
This is the last one for me. Which, at this rate, I'm kind of missing it.
Right.
This is some pretty entertaining baseball, all things considered.
And Panther fans can catch Panther men's basketball for sure later this week, Friday.
Yep.
So they host the semifinals.
That swing popped up into shallow center field, coming on quickly as Gaynor. He gets there again. Basically a considerable part of most of these innings. That one is no different. He's got 2 that time around. Schneider and Isaiah both fly out to Gaynor, and then Snyder Pennington with a ground out to Kelly ends out the 6th inning, 3rd and final of my call. That is the first scoreless full inning of the game, and Tyler Rosa will take over here in our final third of the game itself.
We welcome you back to Greenville University here in Greenville, Illinois. Tyler Rosen, Daniel Rodier with you. Stephen Hardwick back out on the mound for his third inning of work here. Came in relief of Lisher after Lisher saw 2 batters. Hardwick's done a nice job. He went 1-2-3 his last time out in the 6th. His first to Crawford is a called strike here. And Crawford, he's reached and scored twice. One of those was the solo shot back in the 1st.
This is still the first full time through the lineup as well for Hardwick. He has seen, technically, Crawford, but he only looked at him at third base for a few minutes while he was in the stretch.
Hardwick working. Throws one in. This is popped into foul territory right side here. Villalobos calls everyone off and makes the catch as he approaches the foul line for out number 1.
Hardwick was reluctantly making his way over towards the foul line and was hoping somebody called him off, and Villalobos was more than happy to oblige.
Casual pitcher move there. You know, just let everyone else handle it until you absolutely need to get involved.
You got about a 15-foot radius, and there better not be any more than 15 feet of arc on that ball if you're a pitcher. There are some very good fielding pitchers.
Mm-hmm. They're still reluctant to go after the
even
ball,
even they do not want to go after it. That is not their job.
1-0's fouled straight back. Evens the count at 1 apiece. So Hardwick, nice job in relief. Bailey had a good start, went 4 strong.
Gave up, a run and a half?
Yeah, sure. As that one bounces to the plate and will go to the backstop, moves the count to 2-1.
No, he did finish out that inning. He gave up 2 full runs.
Now a 2-1 count to Connor Goodson, the first baseman. Pitch on its way. He's there for a called strike, working on the outer half.
Nice pitch from Hardwick, taking full advantage of where he releases the ball. And the fact that he favors that right side of the mound as well. Kind of coming across the plate even with it.
You're right, and this one's grounded to the left. Goes off the glove of the third baseman, Schneider, as Martinez was there waiting. And that'll put a runner on with 1 out.
Don't blame Schneider trying to go over to that one, considering how much closer to home plate he was in comparison. But the problem is when you're making that overt effort and you even touch the ball, if you don't cleanly field it and release it, it ruins any chance of the out.
So it's scored as an E5 on the play. Runner at first.
This is the first error for Greenville in this game.
Clean game defensively. And really, even for Grinnell, they settled down after the first inning or so where you saw those errors come into play. Called strike into Wyatt Raymond, the right fielder.
They've had, 1 error since that?
Yeah. Hardwick, a long look in. Gets the pitch, runner goes. Grounded to the left side. Fielded by Martinez. Throw over to first in time, so the runner advances up to second. That's Goodson. But 2 outs here, and the Panthers looking to get back into the dugout and score some more runs, but they'll have to get Kelly out first.
Nice put out there by Martinez. I mean, benefit for Goodson, he was run on the pitch, but it kind of forced Raymond to swing and just put it in play if he could. The hit and run being on, it does remove the double play, but it certainly doesn't prevent that ground out.
Breaking pitch just missed from Hardwick. There's Kelly. He's got a couple of hits on the day and a line out to center. Grounded back up the middle for a base hit. Should score a run with 2 outs. Fielded by Isaiah. Throw coming in all the way to the plate and takes an unfortunate hop off the down plane of the mound. Takes some momentum off of it and allows the runner to score. That's Goodson coming from second. 7-4 in favor of the Panthers here in the 7th.
I'm going to say it. I honestly think the front slope of the mound actually helped him because it just added some, we'll say, horizontal movement. It took away a vertical hop, but it would have done all that much. I do think if they wanted the out there, Villalobos had to cut it, but he was faking the cut and throw over. Speaking of the throw over, unsuccessful pickoff move there by Hardwick.
Not in time. So the Panthers, the bats have gone quiet for them since the end of the 3rd inning. And it's been nickel and dime back the other way. Another check over in first, not in time.
They still don't have a hit since then, by the way.
Yeah, good point. It's just been a run here, a run there for Grinnell.
That's the first hit since the last time Raymond was up to bat in the 5th inning, by the way. There for Greenville.
And get another meeting on the mound here. Coach Lynn Carlson looks like it might be it for Hardwick as
small high five line gathering.
Yeah. Wonder how often you see relief pitchers spring and hop over the fence out of the bullpen, but that's what our new pitcher has just done, and we'll step aside, get some information on him, come back here in the 7th inning with the Panthers leading 7-4. Well, Damari Dabney, the number 10, will be our relief pitcher for the Panthers. And Damari, the freshman, comes in with a 3.38 ERA, a 1-0 record, making his second appearance. He's gone 2 2/3. He's allowed 3 hits, which hopefully doesn't become an issue here for the Panthers. Defensively trying to work out of this inning. Stuart Cash, third baseman, steps in, batting from the right side. First thing Dabney does is throw on over to first, and didn't look all that comfortable doing it.
It looked uncomfortable from here. I mean, watching that, the left-handed pickoff move is an interesting one to watch from straight on, but that looked like it hurt.
A look over to first, now comes home, and tied up Frick a bit, gets away from him, and no one's there at second. That'll allow the runner and Kelly to go up to second. And that'll be a pass ball.
Yeah, a little bit of a mental error there for Frick. Kind of costs him. First time he's seeing a lefty for more than 4 pitches thus far today. Maybe 9 pitches. But, I mean, Lisher earlier didn't have the most control he was hoping for. Now Dabney, a little bit of a slide step, I think quicker than even Frick was expecting.
The high kick here. And this one's fouled away by Cash out of play. Evens the count at 1 apiece with a runner in scoring position. And the Panthers, as we work here in the later innings, now every runner that they have to deal with that's in scoring position seems all the more important, especially with 3 straight zeros up on the scoreboard in their half of the inning. Showing bunt and pulling away is Cash.
Dabney was the only one rushing in the infield. Villalobos was well behind first base, is still standing there, I might add. And naturally, because there's still a runner on second base, Schneider's in no rush to rush either, because Martinez would have to win the foot race over there.
Dabney comes set, look to second, now kicks and offers home. Bounces to the plate. Frick is able to block it, but it still gets by him. So the runner advances down to third. That's Kelly. He counts 3-1 now.
Wild pitch, and a passed ball in 4 pitches in the reverse chronological order. And now an easy run to score here to make it a 2-run game. I mean, again, it was 7-1.
Yeah. It's
Greenville has not had a hit since it was 7-1.
It's felt like death by 1,000 paper cuts up to this point, although the Panthers still with a 3-run lead. A 3-1 pitch. Misses low.
And he walked it.
And a walk. So runners at the corners, 2 outs.
It's really the only benefit to where they are right now is the fact that there are 2 outs. The error looming over the third baseman Schneider from a couple minutes ago, probably 10 minutes at this point considering we've had that pitching change, is still an impactful part. If they give up this run, it will be unearned, but it will still matter just as much.
So we got a pinch hitter now. It's going to be Brandon Chung. And Dabney will step off.
You could hear somebody say step off like 8 times from their dugout, and I'm not sure why. I think he was looking over at Cash for some reason.
Chung represents the tying run.
By the way, the Goodson run is also an unearned run because he gained on the error.
Runners at the corners. Dabney fires home. This is lifted into right field. Long run going over is Pennington. Settles under and makes the catch. A big out for Dabney, and you can tell it meant a lot to him as he shows some emotion coming off the mound going into the break. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Panthers still lead it 7-4 here on the Panthers Sports Network. Bottom of the 7th inning here for the Panthers. They'll have to deal with a new pitcher in Kenji Kajita for Grinnell. Just their 3rd pitcher of record coming into the game. And he'll have to deal with Miggy Villalobos, Rhett Pennington, who just ended the top half of the 7th in right field. And then it'll be Landon Smith.
A stellar outing, all things considered. 3 1/3. You don't even give up a hit. That one nails the foot of Villalobos. That even sounded like it hurt.
Yeah, caught him not on the toe, but it looked like a
square.
side. Yeah, right there.
Not even a glancing blow for him to avoid.
No.
Listen to this for Kenji Kajita. He is one of the 2 Japanese players on the team. He is 5'5", 147 pounds as a senior. He's from Akashima, Japan.
He throws left. Fires in, missing outside.
He throws left into the right batter's box twice in 2 pitches.
Toes the rubber again.
Villalobos not very liable to steal, even less so now they got nailed on the left side of his foot. That was a ball.
Yeah, called strike by our home plate umpire. Evens the count at 1. Yeah, I think for Villalobos, even if he got the steal sign, he might send one back that says, I don't know.
I'd send back a different sign that is maybe not so polite.
The
That
1-1 just missed outside. Good pitch.
That was about an inch further outside than the previous pitch. Both of them are 5 inches outside, but the latter of the two was called a ball.
Well, Pennington.
I think it's 2. The scoreboard says 1-2. I think it's 2-1.
That's what I've got. 2-1 pitch.
Just inside.
It was held there again by Crawford. 3 balls and a strike.
Our scoreboard operator just got the memo.
3-1 count. Runner over at first base. Jeter's pitch. This is low and away. So hit by pitch and a walk to start the inning. Panthers looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
If you love some left-handed pitchers as well, there's another one warming up in the bullpen there for Grinnell. It looks like number 31. No, it's number 32, Paul Shortridge. He's warming up in the bullpen after back-to-back walks here. Can't really blame him.
Especially now that this game's back down to 3. A hard butt. Well up the first base line will go foul. Strike 1.
I like that. Play some small ball well up 3. Make it a 4, possibly 5-run game. At least try to do so. I don't hate the decision.
No, and just a missed bunt there by Landon Smith, second baseman. Grounded out a couple of times. Singled and scored back in the 3rd.
He's grounded the same spot, too. Third base twice. And he also got his single in that direction. He is not a push hitter by any means. He and Cash have become very good friends over the last 7 innings or so.
Shows bunt again. Pulls back and takes a strike. 0-2 to the 7th place hitter in the Panthers lineup.
I'm surprised he didn't try and lay that one down. It's a pretty good distance for him. At least good height.
Probably a better pitch to try and put down than the first one. Nonetheless, 0-2. Kajita looked back to second. Now fires home. Grounded to the left side.
Not again.
Good play by the third baseman. Turned to second. Over to first. Not in time.
I think he was out. He just barely landed as the ball was getting over. Nice speed and hustle there from Smith, who dives to make it there in time. I can't believe he got there, and honestly, I don't know if he did.
That was awfully close. That was a great play initially by Cash over at third. Hits Kelly 5-4 to retire Pennington on the bases, and Smith reaches. Villalobos is down at third, so runners at the corners, 1 out here in the 7th. Kajita was still some work to do. A look to first. Comes home, and it gets by the catcher. Crawford gets there and then can't field it cleanly in and out of the glove, so the run scores as Villalobos gets on his horse coming home, and down to second goes Smith.
So Villalobos reached on the hit by a pitch. He made it his way to second off of what was a walk. He got to third on the fielder's choice and made it home on another wild pitch.
Well, as we've said earlier, it doesn't have to be pretty.
May not be pictures on the scorecard, but there are little small lettered indicators.
The 1-0. This is up and in. 2-0 to Frick, the catcher. Gonna get a timeout. And
They're going to replace him mid-count?
Let's see if it's not just to try and settle Kajita down and get him back in the at-bat here. It's dealing with 8 and presumably 9 in Rocco. Next.
You know, in my entire tenure of playing youth baseball, there have been 2 occasions where I've seen a pitcher replaced in the midst of an at-bat. One time
doesn't happen often.
Was a guy who he hurt his ankle or something in the midst of a pitch, so he stayed on the mound and tried to throw another, and he was like, no, I'm done. And then 2 months later, same season, one of our pitchers broke his arm in the midst of a pitch. It just snapped. The only 2 times I've seen a pitcher replaced in any level below the majors in the midst of an at-bat.
Luckily for Kajita, he's okay, and he'll stay in the game, at least for now, with a 2-0 count. Pitch on its way in, and crossed up Crawford. It was a good pitch. I don't think Crawford was expecting a breaking pitch as he was moving outside, broke back in, and crossed him up.
He's like, hey, pay attention to the runners while I re-equip half of my wardrobe.
Yeah, 3-0 the count now. Frick stands at home plate. 3-0, misses low and in.
That's going to do it.
Pitch walk.
That is it for Kajita, no less. He gets one out in his endeavor. Frick reaching on that walk will make it first and second. Smith on second there, and Kajita's going to be replaced. I'm going to say I think by Paul Shortridge. We'll get some confirmation in just a second. Let him warm up for a minute or two when we come back here on the Panther Sports Network.
Ben Serrato will be the relief pitcher for Grinnell. He'll have to deal with Matt Rocco to start, the left fielder. And he's got 2 runners to work with and 1 out. The runners at first and second. Serrato with a look back to second. Now comes home. Initially showing bunt, pulling back was Rocco, taking ball 1. One 0 count. And Serrato, another look back, fires home. Again, Rocco shows bunt, pulls back, but it gets away from Crawford. Both runners will move up. Smith to third, Frick to second. Courtesy of the pass ball. A 2-0 count. So 2 in scoring position now for the left fielder. A line out, a sacrifice fly, and a ground out. Infield playing in for Grinnell. 2-0 pitch on its way. Missed outside, 3-0. Serrato will look into the dugout. Now steps back on the rubber. Has a sign, delivers home. is there for a called strike. Rocco was ready to head down to first base. Plate umpire says, we'll try this again. And the 3-1 upcoming. Serrato offers his 3-1. Missed outside. Rocco will take first base. Back-to-back walks. 3 walks in the inning.
Back at bat for your Panthers, number 53.
Bases loaded for the Panthers. And Alejandro Martinez, the shortstop, will step up.
You just cannot afford to walk back-to-back batters at the bottom of the lineup
No.
as 2 separate pitching staffs. We're going to say it's obviously problematic to start, but this is starting to become a problem for Grinnell. I mean, we've seen a team get out of bases loaded 1 out already today. We've seen Goal earlier do the exact same thing with 2 outs. However, now at the top of the lineup, with them loaded, Frick on second, Smith on third, Rocco the new addition to first base. This is a very good opportunity for Greenville to extend, if not make this an unreachable lead.
Serrato with another look in and delivers. Missing low and in. He's working the left side of the plate from our vantage point. With little success so far. 5-pitch walk to Rocco. He's fallen behind 1-0 to start here. Alejandro Martinez, the Panther shortstop. 1-0 is there for a called strike. Count evens at 1-1.
That's a start Serrato needs to this. Even if he misses the ball early, he needs to force Martinez to become a hitter.
Yeah, he's working just outside the zone a little much here. Some of them haven't been all that competitive. Of the pitches, the 1-1. Missed too far inside. 2-1 now.
Something has to change in soon here for Serrato, if not for the team as a whole. They cannot afford to keep giving up these, I'm not going to say easy opportunities to get on base, but certainly easier than they should be.
Well, got to make them swing the bat. Haven't done so really too much here in this inning. That's for either pitcher, really. And a hit by pitch.
Uh-oh.
Martinez will take first. Coming in to score is Smith. Down to third is Frick. And up to second goes Matt Rocco.
So thus far, with a hit by pitch, a walk, a fielder's choice, a walk, and another hit by pitch, Greenville has scored 2 runs in this inning on 0 hits.
Yeah.
0.
Panthers would love to string something together here. They lead at 9-4. Base is still loaded and still just the 1 out. Already started to dig into the bullpen. Called strike to Schneider.
Honestly, forcing Grinnell to reach into the bullpen for the first time as well. As soon as Goal leaves the game, they start to have some issues.
Yeah. And this is the part of the season where all of a sudden the games start to run together and got to spread out the arms best you can. And another called strike into Schneider. He's behind 0-2. And part of why I don't envy the coaching staffs early in the year when schedule's constantly changing, all of a sudden, as you've laid out the Greenville schedule, you're playing 6 games in 6 days.
Yeah.
You got to keep everybody fresh, or as fresh as possible. Jammed here with Schneider and fouls it out.
Yeah, they got 2 separate double headers in the schedule. They've got 3 games in 3 days with the games this coming weekend. Those soon to come against Wheaton. A game at 2 p.m. on Friday with a doubleheader at 11 and 2 on Saturday the 1st. Finally, some March baseball.
Might not feel like it.
No, it's going to be colder that day, which you have fun with that. I'll be in Chicago.
And then I'll head inside for some
Another
flag
one.
Basketball and another hit by pitch. This time Frick will score. Rocco to second. Alejandro Martinez.
And back up for your Panthers.
Up to second, rather. Rocco to third, and Schneider first.
Are we going to see another pitching change? Yeah, we will. In the same inning, Grinnell's letting this one get away from them. And this time we will see Shortridge return. But, I mean, they have as many hit by pitches as they do runs allowed, all on 0 hits in this home half of the 7th inning. And we are still this has been a 20-minute half inning.
And it's been a long one here for Grinnell, and we'll step aside here. When we come back, we'll bring you the rest of this bottom of the 7th inning. Panthers lead at 10-4. Well, we welcome you back here to the bottom of the 7th inning.
For the 3rd time.
Paul Shortridge on the mound for Grinnell. He'll have to deal with Snyder Pennington, and the bases loaded, just the 1 out. Pennington takes a called strike.
Finally, we will see Shortridge. He's thrown a fair few pitches in the bullpen. I saw him throw at least 15 or 20.
Saw him getting quite a bit of work in as well. Pennington gets under this one, skies it into center field. Gainer's there, settles under it, makes the catch. Allow the runner to tag and score from third, and everybody advances up a bag. Good heads-up base running. As Rocco scores. Martinez down to third. Schneider tags up to second.
They are a single batter from batting around as well, assuming nobody gets picked off. And a stellar start. No, they will bat around here in this inning. Isaiah is the 9th batter of the inning, and that is still 4 runs without a hit. A couple fielder's choices, or a fielder's choice and a sac fly. Technically a couple fielder's choices.
Jam there on hit. Slow roller over to third, fielded by Cash. Retires Marcus Isaiah by 3. As Daniel mentioned, 4 come in to score, 9 up to the plate. It's 11-4 as we move to the 8th inning here on the Panther Sports Network. Damari Dabney back out onto the mound here to start the 8th inning. They'll have to deal with 9-1-2 for Grinnell. It's got a little more cushion to work with. As the Panthers scored their first run since back in the 3rd inning. It was a 4 spot, all without putting a ball really in the field of play.
What a sac fly.
The sac fly.
Fielder's choice.
Yeah.
The Greenville Panthers still have yet to have a hit since since 3 times ago when Martinez batted in the 3rd inning. They have gone through the lineup a full 2.5 times in that same process, have scored somehow. I count those 4 runs.
All coming there in the 7th, and bouncing that one to the plate was Dabney.
It's also the first inning since the aforementioned 3rd innings that they left players on base.
Okay.
It was a very clean go of things for goal. And then they pull him, and it was no longer a good go of things.
Yeah, it was a revolving door there in the 7th. And that one's tipped into the mid for strike 2. Count and a ball and 2 strikes. Dabney. Lefty comes set, working from the stretch. Offers home. Lifted into center. Isaiah coming on and to his left to make the play. Or I guess his right, my left. For out number 1. Second straight time he's retired Gainer, his center field counterpart.
And Gainer getting out to center field there. I'm surprised he got that much power on it. He swung well for it, but that off-speed pitch just kept breaking away from him. It was mostly off the end of the bat. He had good bat speed, just not great bat contact, and that was the more pivotal of the two. He flies out again. I'm going to say basically the exact same spot, maybe 30 feet left, or 30 feet to our left.
I was thinking the same thing. Is the first pitch into Nathan McCurdy, the left fielder and leadoff hitter. Misses for ball 1. Again, first of 2 for you. Illinois Wesleyan has made their way over to the complex. And, we'll probably be a little bit behind schedule, as they'll take their time to get warmed up and ready to go.
I really hope that we can just, spend 5 minutes, say, hey, welcome to a new game, restart our broadcast, and move on with our lives.
I could say if we were just to our left at the softball press box, that would almost certainly be the case. Those are some quick turnarounds there.
Good for them.
No.
Give me on some softball games, Tim.
The 2-0 on its way. McCurdy takes a called strike.
This is the first time that we've had a left-handed pitcher in the game go longer than a couple thirds.
Right. It's been an adventure for the lefties today.
Yeah, no kidding.
2-1 here as Dabney delivers.
Nice pitch again.
Yeah, I found the top of the zone, and I'm not liking it there was McCurdy.
McCurdy's also having to challenge the fact that he's on the opposite side of the plate, and because he's releasing from the left-hand side and targeting the left-hand side, his left, McCurdy's never really seeing it come to him, which is usually the benefit of a left-handed pitcher against a right-handed hitter.
Dabney bounces that one in and blocked again by Frick. But with no one on, not a huge deal. As Dabney's ready to go. His 3-2 payoff pitch to McCurdy, the left fielder. Popped foul and out of play.
Hopefully there's no trucks coming by. We've seen a couple of them traverse down. We're all of half a mile from State Route 141 or 41 or whatever that route is.
Yeah, and Highway 70 just
further past that.
Yeah, you're right off the highway. Another 3-2 on its way. Breaking pitch didn't quite break. So a 1-out walk issued to Nathan McCurdy from Damari Dabney. And now McCain, shortstop.
Not a very successful day for the shortstop. Fly out to the left fielder. He has walked, but a ground out and a fly out to the center fielder as well. He was thrown out at home trying to gain on that ground ball to Smith we saw a few innings ago. Still, probably the craziest play we've seen in this game. Cannot believe a second baseman threw it home on a ground ball up the middle, but that's neither here nor there.
One of the funnier parts of that play was Frick was pointing to first, telling him to go to one and get the out. And said, nope, I'm coming home, right back to you. And
Fricko wasn't ready for it.
No.
He did get the tag down. It was a pretty good throw. A little high, but no problems really.
Ball and a strike.
Nice block from Frick. He actually gloved that off the ground.
Kane watches ball 2 drop on in.
You have to imagine you're targeting the bottom of the zone here. If you're McCain, you're expecting you have to swing if it's something close.
Right.
Bottom of the zone means he's going to ground it out. Double play very likely.
Dabney a look to first. Delivers home. And swung on and missed. Not a foul ball. As it gets by Frick, that'll allow McCurdy to take second.
McCain is still standing there. Wasn't that strike 3?
That was strike 2. They think they had it 0-2 on the board when it was 1-1.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was very confused. Because the umpire was holding out his right arm as if it was a strike out. And because there was a stealing player with 1 out, it should have been an immediate strikeout if he did swing and miss on a ball passed on an 0-2 or 2-2 count. But I guess not. I was very confused.
2-2 misses up and away. Count goes full, 3-2. And doesn't appear anybody up and working in the Panther bullpen. And why would you? You're up 11-4. Let the freshman try and work the inning. 3-2. Grounded to the left side. Who wants it? Martinez will take it.
No
throw
way.
it first. Not in time. So.
Villalobos is making the, hey, put the headphones on towards the bench. I'm going to say it. That was probably the same distance that Smith was. I'm gonna say I think they were both out.
Yeah, it was awfully close, and it's when you got just the one field umpire and you got to rotate around, put you in an interesting angle at times, especially over to first, I'd imagine.
Good news is McCurdy was held at second because it was a ground ball to the left side, so he does not advance. They will call it a hit, by the way.
Thought it might be. Dabney bounces another one back into the plate. He starts off behind in the count 1-0. As he faces Crawford, the catcher. He barrels this one up into center field, and Isaiah's got a read on it. Comes in, makes the catch. Faking the tag from second to third was McCurdy, and a good throw in from Isaiah. Second out of the inning.
Seen a couple of those from Isaiah thus far.
Yeah.
Or he's gotten his leg behind the ball and his arm straight through it. But, I mean, apart from them putting up a 2 or 3 run spot here on the Grinnell side of the 8th inning, I think this one, I'm not going to say maybe just about over, but it may be just about over.
Yeah, and, especially for Dabney just to settle down and get that big second out here with 2 runners on, that just goes a long way in feeling like you're that much closer to getting out of the inning. His first pitch with
nice pitch.
2 outs. And you know what? Good on the young freshman pitcher, not being afraid to go inside on Connor Goodson. You mentioned it earlier. He kind of crowds that plate a bit.
Yeah.
Dabney, no fear, throwing one right in there.
Goodson put his arms up right above the plate, but when you put your arms up right above the plate and the ball goes under him, it's a strike.
Well, and of course, it's been a well-officiated game by our umpires today.
Yeah. He almost went. He's gone.
Throw down to second and a little looper from Frick, and otherwise maybe would have had McCurdy ranging off the bag. It was a nice block initially by Frick as the count evens at 1-1.
Kind of just froze McCurdy at second base. He wanted to take a couple extra steps, and then he did, and then he realized, wait, I'm kind of in no man's land here. If Frick had more power on that, or if it was a little bit more on target, either one would have gotten McCurdy. He was 0 for 2 in the 2 things that mattered. Thus, McCurdy's still safe, and we're still here in the top half of the 8th.
And Frick could have been waiting for one of his middle infielders to get to the bag, hence maybe taking a little bit off. But there's a called strike, moves the count to 1-2, and Dabney a strike away from getting out of the inning, holding Grinnell to 0 on the score column.
I love watching some of these batters look back at the home plate umpire, not the least bit pleased. Goodson thinks he's on a 1-2 count off of 2 balls. Should be 3-0 in his mind.
I'll have to go to work and protect. Dabney's 1-2 on its way. Lifted into shallow right, coming on, unable to make the plays. It takes a big bounce just in front of the right fielder, Rip Pennington. Throws into second, scores a run. That's McCurdy coming in from second. Going first to third is McCain. And an RBI single for Goodson.
There is nothing you're doing wrong there if you're Rhett Pennington either.
Nope.
It was a floater right in front of you. You can't dive out for it. The bounce goes over you because of the spin and the spin alone. It had no speed to get that high. And, I mean, you can't keep it in front of you. You had no play at home, honestly, even if he did catch it properly because of how awkward the looper was. All in all, just a good seeing eye single there for Goodson, who kind of bails himself out of the 1-2 count.
Yeah. Got one off the end of the bat. Found no man's land. It's Pennington well off the line and right. 11-5 our score. First pitch into Raymond misses out.
Still with 2 outs here. You got force out at first or second. And with Raymond, who has grounded out to the shortstop on 2 separate occasions.
1-0 pitch. Line back up the middle for a base hit. That'll score another run. Holding at second base is Goodson. Back-to-back singles make it 11-6.
Hey, I said if they don't put up a 2 spot, this one may be over. And then they put up a 2 spot. This is still a reasonable game for Grinnell. This is also the first inning where they've put up more than just 1 run on the board. And because of it, we may see a replacement on our rubber.
It appears we will, but it didn't look like, or really, frankly, sound like anybody was up until just now. And we'll see if that is the decision. We're going to try and let Dabney close it out. He does have 2 outs.
It does look like nobody from the bench is getting out there for the handshake line, which is usually how you know if somebody's being replaced here for Greenville. I do like the fact they're telegraphing that most of the time. Makes our job a little bit easier.
Yeah, right. Makes us sound smart. And wonder if the head coach will just take up as much time as possible to let maybe his impending new reliever come into the game or get warm. And no, they will stick with Dabney. See if that reinvigorates Damari a little bit. Ben Kelly, the second baseman, stepping in. A 3-hit day, 3 singles. Has not made it home to score, however. Left stranded back in the second. Was put out 3-6. Back in the fourth. Was stranded over at third his last time up in the 7th. Chases that first pitch up and out of the zone here. Comes up empty for strike 1.
But even with his outs, he had a very hard line out to the center fielder, Isaiah. He's got 4 good balls in play today. 3 of them he's gotten on base, but he's been stranded or put in a fielder's choice on every single one of those occasions.
Called strike into Kelly. Quickly 0-2. And Dabney strike away from getting out of this one. Look to second. And again, the 0-2. Just missed low.
Dabney wants that one back as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to do the exact same thing he did earlier. I think that was against McCain, where he was looking for that ground ball double play, keep the ball low in a 2-strike count. Not able to get him to go for it.
1-2. Popped foul, straight back and out of play.
I'm not going to say certain, but I'm pretty sure this could be Dabney's last batter.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good call there. Yeah, I'd imagine so. Cash stands on deck for Grinnell. The 1-2. Bounce to the plate, gets through Frick. Everybody moves up. Goodson to third. Raymond to second on the pass ball.
Problem is you've now lost your force out anywhere but home as well. makes Dabney's job just that much more challenging. The left side of the infield's had some trouble because of how fast Grinnell is off the bat. They've also not had all that many strong ground balls. But I think there was just a message relayed to the bullpen. If he's not successful here, there should, if not will, be a change.
2-2 from Dabney, misses up. Taking a stab at it was Frick. Nice job to get that one in the mitt, keep it from going to the backstop. Counts full at 3-2. Kelly at the dish. Dabney on the mound. He comes set. His 3-2 offering. Grounded back up the middle to second base. Smith is there. Throws on over to first for the out. So it wasn't easy for Dabney to go through the eighth, but he does, gives up 2 runs. It's still a 5-run lead for the Panthers as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning here on the Panthers Sports Network. Bottom of the 8th inning here on the Panthers Sports Network. Panthers and Pioneers battling it out here in game number 1. Illinois Wesleyan in the house, ready for game number 2. And first pitch swinging is driven out to deep left center, and that will get down for an automatic double as Miggy Villalobos with his second big hit of the day. This one a double to go along with the 3-run shot back in the first. That'll turn it over to Rhett Pennington. So Villalobos having one heck of a day at the plate. Has been involved defensively too. And the Panthers haven't trailed since that 3-run homer. Pennington, a single, walked, reached on an error back in the first. Takes a ball just missing outside here. This is his 5th trip up to the plate. A 1-0 offering is sent off the end of the bat into shallow left. That'll get down. They're going to send Villalobos. He rounds third. Throw is cut off on its way in. Villalobos scores. It's an RBI single for Rhett Pennington, the right fielder. Took it the other way, makes it 12-6. Panthers get one of those 2 back from the top half of the 8th. Get a pinch hitter here, Carson Gates. Takes ball 1. He replaces Landon Smith. sophomore out of Eureka, Illinois. He watches ball 2 miss outside. Two and 0. Look over to first, and the pitch is swung on and missed. 1 ball, or 2 balls and a strike, rather, to Carson Gates. So he deals with Paul Shortridge on the mound. The lefty fires home. Found the zone there, evens the count at 2-2. Double and a single to start the inning. Panthers have already grabbed one back. Make it a 12-6 score. That one swung on and missed. Not a pretty swing there from Carson Gates. He stepped out with that back foot. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jackson Frigge now. Batting from the right side. Got Pennington over at first. Fricke trying to pick up another hit on the day. Grounded to the left side. Fielded by the third baseman. Throw to second in time. On to first. Not in time. Fricke legs it out. But a nice play there by Cash. 5-4 on the putout of Pennington on the bases, and reaching there was Fricke.
Up to bat for your Panthers. Number 8.
Good hustle from Fricke to beat out that double play.
Not too often you see catchers kind of, well, we'll say leg that out, and he did. But you don't see catchers do that on double plays very often. But aided by maybe having to go almost all the way around the horn.
That's helpful.
2 down here in the 8th.
I was a pretty quick catcher. I also wasn't only a catcher, but I was a pretty quick
I was
catcher.
going to say, Daniel, if the people could see the difference between the two of us, they would understand why you were pretty speedy as a catcher. Maybe, well, I was told maybe cut the piano off my back because this one's fouled out of play.
I mean, until I graduated, until I graduated high school, I was like 6'1.5", 6'2", and 150. I'm like 180 now because I learned how to eat food. But, yeah, I was like 150 out of high school.
1-1 to Rocco. Misses low and in. 2-1 with Fricke over at first. Next one into Rocco, misses out. 3-1.
This needed to be a clean inning here for Shortridge.
Yeah, and it's been labored. He's gotten some help from the defense around him.
Villalobos with some speed earlier, like that.
I would have liked to have that one stay in place. That one's grounded back up the middle for a base hit. Fricke will stay put at second.
McCain laid out for that one. He was slow to get up for a second. He did do so under his own power.
Back to what you said about Villalobos with the speed. Was hoping that ball that he put out in center field would stay in play. See if he could turn on the Jets, maybe wheel around to third. Did score off the single from Pennington from second. Runners at first and second. Back to the top of the order in Martinez. Shortridge's pitch is there for a called strike. Martinez awaits. Looks at the 0-1 pitch, miss low. Good block again by Crawford. He's been busy at times today. And certainly hindsight's 2020. You wonder if you're Grinnell, maybe if you could get just that one more inning out of goal, if it doesn't maybe just change a little bit of the outlook down the stretch here.
Oh, yeah.
Just say that with a 12-6 score. Count at 1-2.
I'm a little surprised they pulled goal when they did, only because of how clean he was throughout his entire duration. I mean, still technically, apart from the single gained by Rhett Pennington, that was the first hit,
Yeah.
or second hit, since the tail end of the third inning when goal took over.
Yeah, it was an impressive performance in relief, to say the least. Count's gone 2-2. It's a Martinez pitch on its way. Lifted into right field. Not having to do too much there was Raymond. Makes the catch for out number 3. And we move to the top of the 9th. Panthers looking to close out game number 1 when we come back here on the Panther Sports Network. Top of the 9th inning here for the Panthers on the Panther Sports Network, looking to close out game number 1 of today's doubleheader. Tyler Rosen, Daniel Rodier with you for both of these games, and the Panthers will send out Brady Saltzman to look to close this one out. He's got a 6-run cushion to work with, and he'll have to deal with Stuart Cash to start off here in the 9th. First pitch dealt, grounded over to third. Schneider there, throws on over to first for the out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Great way to start the 9th.
I don't think Schneider moved his feet till he started throwing the ball. He maybe took a half step back just to field it a little lower. And Cash put out by his counterpart third baseman. Great start for Salzman.
And Brandon Chung steps in, batting for the second time today. Replaced Watts, the DH, after his third trip up. Takes ball 1 here. 1-0 just finds the outer portion, evens the count at 1-1. Right about the time that we were scheduled to start game number 2. Obviously, that will not be starting on time, so just stay tuned. About probably 15, 20 minutes or so after we conclude this one, we'll get going in game number 2. That one swung on and missed by Chung. Counted a ball and 2 strikes.
Salzman, the 6'1" right-handed pitcher, weighs in at 205 from Brighton, Illinois.
We charged with trying to get the inning started here with 1 out. Down in the count, 1-2. Salzman gets a ground ball foul. Well, and for Illinois Wesleyan, it certainly isn't as cold as probably when they got into town, but thinking, can we go hang out on the bus until we know that this game's done? They've been standing out here on the gravel a little bit.
Like 25, 30 minutes, right?
Yeah. Got here about 1:30. 1-2. Missed outside. Tried to get him to chase. Nice job by Fricky to get over and get that. So
One of the few left-handed hitters in the lineup is on deck. Would have to extend this one.
Yeah, Gaynor. Man, and he's had a day to remember out in center field, that's for sure. Little squibber back up the middle, knocked down by Saltzman, and finds its way over to short, but no play there when Martinez picks it up. It's going to be a hit.
Number 24, Jacob Gaynor.
And a one-out single. It's Gaynor.
Hey, Chung's on base. I mean, you were talking about hindsight being 20/20. They keep Gale in there, and we'll say hypothetically, they don't give up those 4 runs. This is an 8-6 ball game.
Yeah, it does feel, just taking him out. And again, we often say we don't want to envy decision makers, umpires, coaches, whatever. And also, like we said, it's a lot easier after the decision's made and you see some of the outcomes to determine what was right and wrong, as that one's fouled away by Gaynor. Center fielder trying to keep the inning going for Grinnell here in the top of the 9th. Check swing and called strike. So it found the zone and Gaynor behind 0-2.
Gaynor's trailing here, and I mean, he's got to start swinging. Problem is, he doesn't want to swing at a pitch that'll put him out of the game, much less the inning.
Well, now he's really in a tough spot, down 0-2, having to protect everything at Saltzman's demand. Throws inside.
Ooh, he wanted that one.
Just missed. That was a good pitch. But a ball nonetheless as Gaynor works the count to a ball and 2 strikes. Grinnell actually out hitting the Panthers 11-10. Swung on and missed. Got him to chase on a pitch low and in. 2 down here in the 9th. Top of the order up, Nathan McCurdy. And Grinnell down to their final out.
Number 20.
I got a runner on, but you need 6. Good news is, this is your top of the lineup. Bad news is your top of the lineup needs to be basically flawless against a pitcher they just have not seen from a completely different arm angle than what has been seen all day. He's more of a sidearm pitcher, if not low 3/4.
Well, and to your point, Daniel, it is the top of the order, and they have had success. They've scored 4 of the 6 runs, but you're right. You're dealing with a whole new look and not a lot of margin of error as a 1-0 misses low and away. 2-0 with 2 outs and a runner at first.
This is either going to be a stellar way to restart things because you have a different arm angle, or it is going to be the one that ends things.
2-0 offering, misses low and in. Fricky, nice job again to pick that one out of the turf.
He's been really clean behind the dish thus far tonight. I say tonight, it's 2 in the afternoon.
Well, this overcast sky was sunny for a good chunk of this game, number 1. It's gone overcast again, and certainly for our later game, we hope it can come back out. Called strike 3.
Called strike 2.
They called strike 1. And I don't, we're all up here. We're judging off the umpire.
I was like, wait a second. I don't remember there being the first strike, much less the first 2.
I was going to say, Daniel, we've been pretty conversational but paying attention, and I guess the umpire wasn't. 3-1. He was ready to get the second game going. 3-1 is down the middle.
Do it again.
And just a simple point of the right hand this time. And our home plate umpire, poor guy, he's not going to be able to live that one down.
In all fairness, top of the 9th inning is a fairly good time to have your first mistake in a 6-run game.
The 3-2 pitch misses low and away. So the game keeps going. The inning stays alive.
Much to the dismay of the home plate umpire.
Yeah, he's a couple pitches ahead.
That was funny.
Back-to-back walks for McCurdy on his trips up. Last time up he scored.
9, Mac McCain.
And now Mac McCain.
He's had a very interesting go of things. One unassisted to open up the game, struck out swinging, a pop out to the first baseman in foul territory, a ground out to the first baseman for some more pitcher fielding practice, and then back-to-back walks. He is 0 for 4 with an OPS in this game of a nice and even 333. Or OBP, not OPS. Those are two very different stats. I still don't understand OPS.
I won't even try. A 1-0. Bounces again to the plate. 2-0. And Salzman having some issues here. 2 on, 2 out. He's falling behind 2-0. Salzman. His 2-0 delivery is hammered into left center. Both going back, giving chase. We'll watch his bounce off the fence. Picked up by Isaiah in center. No, he bobbles it. 2 are going to score. It's a double at least. Sliding headfirst into third with a bases clearing hit is Mac McCain. Scores 2. It's 12-8.
McCurdy got all the way around as well. I think they'll probably give him a double and then a single base fielding error, but honestly, not even worth putting that one down in the scorebook. Regardless, it's now a 4-run game, and you've got 3, 4, 5 coming up for Grinnell. If you're going to have a close-ish, if not in-reach game, these are the players you want at the plate. That one just misses inside, but, I mean, Raymond would be the tying run. And has to be the tying run. There is no two ways about it. Either Raymond is the tying run or we're not going to make it that far with 2 outs.
Salzman behind again, 1-0. Fires home and he hits Crawford. Runners at the corners, 2 outs.
I got to be honest with you. I'm a little surprised that McCain tried to leg it all the way around to third.
Yeah.
Only because you never make the first or the third out at third, and you never end the game at third. Because a runner in scoring position at second is honestly just as good. We will see a quick conversation at the mound.
There's someone loose for the Panthers. Cannot get a read on the number and would imagine, again, still owning a 4-run lead. Tying run is on deck. Not at the plate.
They're keeping him in.
Yeah. Leave Saltzman in, maybe another batter.
The only problem is you usually want a batter or two as like a buffer.
Right.
So you don't want to put – let's say they put him in for another batter. That's Goodson. Raymond is on deck. This is assuming nobody goes in to replace anyone. But speaking of replacing somebody, we see a pinch runner aboard. Nicholas Rudin, the 6-foot, 180-pound junior from San Francisco, will pinch run for Crawford over at third. Ethan Crawford is done for the day, assuming this game continues permanently.
A little Scott McKenzie in your voice there on the San Francisco pronunciation.
San Francisco. I was debating on saying San Fran or San Francisco.
I think everybody is glad you said San Francisco.
That's fair. Yeah.
First pitch misses low for ball 1 into Goodson. And getting a little tight here in the ninth. 12-8 score. Salzman's pitch, there for a called strike.
Salzman's on the board here, but he's still trailing to start most of these ABs. Playing catch-up is not an easy way to play in a game where you are about to face the tying hitter if you don't get this one out.
1-1. Oh, catches the inner part of the zone. That almost hit Goodson, and Goodson with one of those patented look backs that we've seen today, and maybe the best argument for one today.
Of all the pitches thus far, I think that is one of the few that has the most argument, apart from a couple pitches we saw earlier from Mr. Kajita.
Salzman's 1-2, misses
Strike 3.
out.
No,
And another good pick by Fricky.
sorry, that was cruel.
Told you, you're not going to let him live it down.
No.
And he doesn't even know yet. Count even at 2 apiece. Salzman trying to end this game. It's 2-2 on its way to Goodson. Missed low. 3-2.
Now you understand why Goodson may be so not happy about that called strike. Instead of it being a walk, it's a 3-2 count with 2 outs, and the runner at first should be running. if not will be.
Salzman set. Kicks, fires home, missed inside, and it's a walk. Bases are loaded.
My goodness. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and we will see a pitching change.
We'll step aside here on the Panther Sports Network. Got a pinch hitter for Wyatt Raymond. Cole Philpott will step in.
Not a bad day by any means for Raymond either. A couple groundouts to the shortstop, a couple singles up-ish the middle, and a strikeout. All in all, 2 for 5 is a decent day.
Jacob Hammer, the new pitcher for the Panthers, at a 0.00 ERA coming into today, and he misses outside.
Philpott, the outfielder and or catcher, 5'10", 170 pounds. The senior from Bethesda, Maryland, just outside D.C.
The 1-0, missed outside. 2-0, as Philpott represents a tying run.
Considering he's a senior, there's an outside chance I played him at some point in my youth career. I'm from just north of Baltimore.
Makes his way out to Iowa and now Southern Illinois and takes a called strike.
Hammer on the other side. The 6', 200-pound grad student from Altamont, Illinois.
Still behind in the count, 2-1. Fires home.
Ooh.
Catches the zone.
Backdoor off speed pitch. A little slider action there. Really the first time he's thrown one.
Evens the count at 2-2. Philpott steps back in. 2-2 from Hammer on its way. Swung on and missed. And that'll do it here in game number 1. The Panthers hold on to win by a final of 12-8. They beat Grinnell in game number 1 of today's doubleheader. And, well, we will wrap it up here, take a little bit of a break for ourselves. And as we said, about maybe 2:30-ish is when we'll hope to get going here. They'll let Wesleyan, Illinois Wesleyan, get warmed up as they need to be. And so tune back in about 15 minutes, and my partner, Daniel Rodier, myself, Tyler Rosen, will be back with you. But first, we'll remind you of our final score here in game number 1. Greenville Panthers victorious over Grinnell College Pioneers by a score of 12-8 here on the Panthers Sports Network.
With your